All right. Hello, good evening. Welcome to another live episode of the O&G StrikeZone right here on the Black College Sports Network. Bryan Fulford, Kelvin Rozier.
What up, yo?
What up, yo? And somewhere on assignment, handling business, Marcus Green. Maybe he'll be joining us. Maybe. I don't know. But he's always with us in spirit if he's not here on the air. What's good, Kay? What's good? What's going on in Tally Ho?
Oh man, all is well, man. A lot is going on. We got some important basketball games coming up at home where we have to defend the home court. We got the SWAC championship in indoor track coming up,
big weekend.
And we got our head coach and some guys out in New Orleans. We just had Fat Tuesday with the Legacy Bowl. So. Quite a bit happening, man, but all is well.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Yes, it is Fat Tuesday yesterday. That means the season of Lent begins. The countdown to Easter is upon us. Anything, I don't know. I don't know if this is maybe because I went to a Catholic prep school, taught in a Catholic school. I don't know the whole season of Lent thing. I don't know if that's necessarily a Baptist tradition, but is it
not missionary Baptist?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I don't remember it being part of the missionary Baptist, but anyway, you were giving up something for this season of Lent, Kelvin. These days leading up to Easter, what would you be giving up?
Lying. That's all it'll be. If I told you I was giving it up, a lie.
Man, beautiful said. All right, coming up on tonight's show, we've got a pair of guests coming on, a good group of guests. We've got coming up at the bottom of hour one. We're going to meet Jasmine Monk, who is the creator, I guess is the best way of calling, the creator of College Bowling Network at College Bowling on X, and they have come into this space covering bowling unlike anything we've seen, or at least I've seen of late, and it's one of those niche sports that has long been or that the coverage has not been as dominant as other sports. We've had a TA from HBCU track and field joining the show, and we certainly appreciate and enjoy and respect the coverage or the spotlight that he puts on the track and field world, that the college track and field world. And so I think college bowling has kind of come in and presented us with, I think, more data that, we've just had to chase information previously, or just kind of wait until maybe a conference or a school puts out some information, which it is what it is.
Yeah.
But college bowling has done a great job of giving you instant information, and so we look forward to talking to Jasmine coming up at the bottom of the hour. Then at hour two, we're going to go with take number 2 with the FAMU Boosters president, Zachary Ansley. So Mr. Ansley is going to join us again, and we're pretty sure we've gotten some connection issues resolved or figured out, and so hopefully we'll have a good connection and a good conversation with Mr. Ansley. Looking forward to that.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Me too.
Well, I want to encourage everybody watching right now who's in the chat rooms, wherever you're watching us, hit the thumbs up and the like button. Get it out the way early if you can. Of course, you can watch all of our shows on the social media handles that you see in the upper left on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at O&G StrikeZone. One of our primary chat areas, of course, is the Jericho Broadcast Network page, MyJBN Online. A lot of our friends who are subscribers of the Black College Sports Network and get all of the shows that come on the BCSN. Well, we appreciate you coming in and joining us. You also might be streaming us on Twitter, the Black College Sports Network, also watching on Facebook, blackcollegesportsnetwork.com as well. So however and wherever you're watching us, we appreciate you coming in and doing that. You can also make a donation to the show anytime, anywhere. Right there, you see the Cash App symbol down at the bottom. Always a cup of coffee helps keep the lights on and keeps this thing moving forward in the right direction. Or you could always choose to join the JBN channel and be a JBN subscriber like so many of our friends have as well. So before we get going, let's get into the roll call, which we like to do here early in the show, and say hello to the good folks who have come in and joined us early. First up, Bull beat you, Ken. Bull jumps in first on the chats. So good to see Kevin Bull checking in, and then of course right behind him, Ken checking in. Good to see you, Ken. And usually coming in third is none other than that guy, Kelvin Roche. So 1, 2, 3. Somebody's gonna have to find a way to beat that order, or we'll see what happens. Good luck. Leonard Chat coming in. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in and joining the show. Appreciate you. Emmett Jones coming in. Yes, most definitely. We lost a civil rights icon yesterday in the passing of Jesse Jackson at the age of Reverend Jesse Jackson at the age of 84. Kelvin,
HBCU product.
Yeah, an HBCU product of North Carolina A&T. I think I saw a post by A&T that said he was a quarterback, a former quarterback.
Well, he played defense. I don't know if he came there as a quarterback, but he played defense.
Okay.
I
may have read the post wrong, but
he might have came in as quarterback, but he played defense. And Vaughn had a nice story about a story that he shared with Vaughn one time about trying to play against Bob Hayes. But
is that what the story was that he was sharing?
Yeah.
I didn't catch the beginning of it. Okay.
Yeah. But my thoughts are there's not many legends, icons within the civil rights political sphere that are left. And I don't know, there's only one or two, a few that we're producing right now to take their place. So it is a large loss, but also it should be equally a large celebration. Those 84 years he's had on this earth, he's been one heck of a servant for the Black community. And so it's up to all of us to do our part in keeping hope alive.
Yeah, I was taken back through time, waking up and hearing the news and seeing many of the social media posts and videos that sort of just took me back to that era when we grew up, that 80s, and just growing up in that time period in the world. And I was reminded of how Reverend Jackson's messaging about being somebody. I am somebody. I am somebody. Those excuse me, those words. I felt, and I tweeted this out. I felt like those words gave our generation the confidence that we carry with us today. That, regardless of what was going on in the world and in the culture, being Black, being beautiful, being proud, being somebody, because we are.
That's right.
And those words rung true, and they really resonated. And they, maybe you don't always think about those things in the moment, but they do have a lasting impact.
Absolutely.
Keep hope alive, and the messaging. And so hearing some of his speeches, wow, you come away like, man, he was such a great orator for our generation, especially after so many of the great orators of the 50s, excuse me, of the 50s and 60s who died or were murdered, assassinated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes. So many of those orators were lost to the culture. And so I thought having Jackson in that role in the 80s to be that voice that we needed is maybe what that lasting legacy was. And so encourage you guys in the chat room to share some of your messages or some of the remembering, some of the things that your lasting memories of Jesse Jackson. This, of course, posted from Florida A&M. The Florida A&M University mourns the passing of Reverend Dr. Jesse Jackson, a civil rights icon whose voice, vision, and unwavering advocacy expanded pathways for access and representation. May we continue to work with the same conviction and clarity that defined his life.
Amen. Hubba hubba.
Hubba hubba. Ran for president in 84 and 88. And it was kind of interesting. One of the people I follow on Twitter, Donna Brazil, was tweeting out some of the numbers, the statistical numbers that talked about his campaign run and the votes and the percentages. While maybe not having enough to win the Democratic ticket, he made enough noise. He resonated with enough people that it woke the Democratic Party up. And I think, they mentioned that she mentioned that from his campaign run, you saw the governor of Virginia, Wilder. There was even a mayor in New York that followed. Dinkins. Yeah. So there was, it shined a light that, Black men can represent all of us in a way that maybe was never thought of prior to Jackson's run. So, and of course it, eventually warmed the nation up to the fact that Barack Obama could be the president. So good stuff. Appreciate you, Emmett, for dropping that in there. Shout out to Iria. Checking in. Iria? Big softball weekend. We'll talk about that in a moment. I know she and the softball alums had to be on 10 over the weekend with the reports and everything that was coming in. Some great videos and imagery coming through on social media handles too, by the way. Hopefully you guys were following, whether it be at FAMU Softball on Instagram or the HBCU Softball Invitational. We tried to do as much as we could in terms of sharing, but great overall weekend. We'll talk about it here coming up. Marvin Allen checking in. Good to see you, Marvin. Meredith, good to see you, Meredith. Thank you for being a JBN subscriber. VM Matt, another Rattler in the house. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for checking in. Ashton Harris checking in. Good to see you, Ash. Sweet, thank you for being a JBN subscriber as well. Jimmy Mack checking in from the South. Good to see you, brother. Makiba West, thanks for being a JBN subscriber as well. Appreciate you. Lil Baby checking in. Mary 305 from the bottom. Good to see you. Thanks for being a JBN subscriber as well. Our girl Liv checking in. Good to see you, Liv.
Olivia.
Did you get a chance to see Liv's debut on the HBCU Go?
Yeah, that stallion.
Straight stallion vibes, boy. 100.
I heard that, Liv. I heard you.
Yeah, I heard you, Liv. I definitely heard you. Let them know. Let them know. Great stuff, though. Good segments. Enjoyed. She needed more. She needed more screen time. You know, no disrespect to Tali, and who does great work, and the other young lady, I forgot her name already, but Liv needed more screen time. I'm just telling you, HBCU Go, give Liv more screen time.
Yeah.
Too much basketball knowledge that she's just sitting on for y'all not to have more Liv. More Liv. You know what I say, Kelvin.
I got a feeling it'll get expanded because she's undeniable in her presence for sure.
Yeah, live for hoops or what? Die lonely. Also, DQ Will, thanks for checking in. Howdy. Thanks for being a JBN subscriber. Gail in the ATL. Thanks for being a JBN subscriber, Gail. Good to see you. Marcus, another JBN subscriber. What up, fam? Holding it down in Middle Georgia. Chris Stanley checking in. Exactly. Appreciate you, Chris. Tamara T, good to see you, Tamara. Thanks for checking in and being a JBN subscriber as well. JT in the house. What up? What up, fam? Good to see you. Christopher Dukes.
Put up your Dukes, Dukes. What up, Chris?
What's little baby talking about? Wendy's fish sandwiches. Oh, he gets excited about Lent. It means
I love us.
Amen. The Friday fish sandwiches on and popping at your. If you know, you know. That's all I'm gonna tell you. If you know, you know. Friday fish sandwiches. Amen. More fish than any other day of the week. What up, Ron Jab? Good to see you. Saturday, Kelvin will be there, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
I should come up. I should find my way.
You should.
I need to find my way to Tallahassee. See if I can be in the building. Emmett Jones. Oh yeah. That's where I actually was thinking about heading. I can go either south or head north. I got to go one direction or the other because it's a big weekend.
It is.
We'll talk about baseball. The baseball season got off to the start over the weekend. We'll talk about that, but a big weekend coming up this weekend, man. No easy games this weekend, boy. No cupcakes. All right, Jeffrey Carroll. Thanks for coming in. What up, Hollow?
Hello.
Joel Banks, good evening. Alice McCullough from the 561 Palm Beach, good to see you. B Starks in the A, thanks for being a JBN subscriber. Chuck Hunt out there in Monroe, Louisiana, good to see you, Chuck. Appreciate you taking time out to check the show out. Yeah. Exactly. I think I got everybody early, didn't I?
Yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah, good stuff from you guys in the chat. Chuck Hunt dropped some info here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, condolences there to the family of Dr. Norman Francis, longtime president at Zula. I believe that's Zula, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, Xavier. Louisiana.
Okay. Yeah. And the nation's longest serving college president passed away at the age of 94. Wow. civil rights attorney, and instrumental in the NFL New Orleans Saints being established in '67. Condolences to Dr. Francis' family and the Xavier University family.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Kelvin, let's talk about those Lady Rattlers that went up into the A. Man,
they were striking. They were striking.
They broke.
They were ruling people.
They ruling people. Hold on. I got some video here, Kelvin.
Slapping home runs and stuff.
I got some video to share. Here we go.
Yeah, wait a minute. Get it how you live it. 10 toes in when we standing on business. I'm a big stepper. Underground methods. God match. Get the more nigga lizard. Straight terror. Find out that your eyebrows. Pushing culture, baby. Got the power you can measure.
I represent Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, October 3rd, 1887. What? Bye-bye.
And they need some really big rings. They need some really nice things.
Don't let me say it. Bye-bye. Boy, did they? They put it on. They put it on, folks, this weekend, boy. Going 4-0. Yes. Now that's BTA right there.
Yeah.
Going 4-0 in the Leonard Moody HBCU Invitational, winning the Watley Cup. Beating Bowie State by a score of 14-1, Coppin State 8-0, Hampton 6-2, and North Carolina Central 9-4. Rattler scored 37 runs, allowed 7. Jeez.
Dominance.
Were they? Here he is. They made it rain. Jeez. Outstanding performance. But we were talking about, we saw the first weekend, Kelvin, that this team, they were showing offense. Right. Yeah, they were showing their offense a little bit up there in Bowie's Creek.
In the cold.
North Carolina. In the cold. And they got to the A. And they just, just like how Rattlers do. Every time we get to Atlanta, we go ham. They just turned it out. And awesome performance there in those contests. I'm just kind of looking back through the box scores, and I didn't do a summary. I wanted to do that. I should have done that. I wanted to kind of spotlight maybe, who had some outstanding performances. I know Sierra Maple in that. I want to go to that game, though, that game in which they hit the back-to-back jacks, and then they hit a fourth one in that inning, if I'm not mistaken. So it was against North Carolina Central in the bottom of the 6th inning. Rattlers trailing 4-3, right? After North Carolina Central had scored 3 runs in the top half of the inning to take a 4-3 lead. That's when the lineup, a homer by Douglas, a homer by Maple, a homer by Brown, back. Or no, wait a minute. Hold on.
It was Maple, Brown, and Samantha Smith.
Maple, Brown, and Smith. Right. Douglas had hit a homer, a solo homer. Then with Naira Lee on, Ciara Maple hit a 2-run homer. Then Amari Brown homered. And then Smith homered. So 4 homers. And then I think somebody who was an area told me that they ran out of balls. I don't know how that. I don't know how that.
I think that was just. I think that was a little embellishment.
A little embellishment there. Okay. Hey, anything's possible. But you saw in the highlight one of those shots that I forgot who hit it, but it went towards right field. Man, that was a beautiful swing, and that thing was gone.
Well, Coach talked about it. Coach said she went out and got some young ladies who could hit the long ball, and they are hitting. They are hitting. I mean, even in the tournament in the cold, they were hitting. So absolutely. Coach said, don't forget about Michaela Register. Home run.
Was that in the 6th?
No.
That was earlier. That was earlier. Yeah. I got you. 5 home runs in that game. Appreciate you, Coach, for checking in. 5 home runs. Awesome performance. Was just kind of taking a peek at, see what I can look up here as I look at some of these season stats. In terms of home runs on the season, Samantha Smith already with 3 home runs on the year. Jordan Douglas with 2. Amari Brown, Ciara, Michaela Register, all with 1. Pitching performances, of course, the big 3, Smith, Hughes, Brown, continue to pitch well. Feel like we have almost like that Atlanta Braves big 3. You remember back in the day, right? Seems you wearing that Atlanta Braves hat. We got a dominant big 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Glavin and Smokes and
Glavin, Smokes and Maddox.
Yeah.
And these are all returners. So the record 5-4 right now off the 4-game winning streak. And so after playing in the HBCU Invitational, we take our talents down to South Florida, where we had to participate in the FIU tournament this weekend. So for the South Florida Rattlers, those of you in the Miami, Fort Lauderdale, all those areas in between, get a chance to go down and see the Rattlers. If I got to figure this out, because the baseball team's in Vero, softball team's over at FIU. Okay, so we got baseball and softball south. We got basketball at home. And then we got track going up a little further north.
Louisiana? No, yeah. Birmingham.
Birmingham.
Yeah.
So softball team will take on Incarnate Word on Friday morning, 10 o'clock. And then the host FIU Panthers at 12:30. Let's see if I don't know how quickly let me see if I can pull up any kind of records and give you some information on what we're looking at going into this weekend. Incarnate Word is 8-3. They've lost 3 in a row, so didn't fare too well when they went to Houston. They were taking on the University of Michigan, Pittsburgh, and University of Houston. So they took on some, Big 10, ACC, Big 12 schools right off the bat, that they had to face. And then as far as Florida International and their softball program, they are currently sitting at 9-2 after some wins against Marshall and Georgia Tech. They lost to Florida Gators. So we got, a pair of tough ones on our hands coming up. So it'll be interesting to see, how the ladies handle it, how they match.
They play Eastern Illinois on Saturday and maybe 2 other teams.
Yeah, I was looking at that. As I was looking at the schedule, it just showed a TBA game.
Yeah.
So I guess to be determined. So we'll see. Hopefully the weather will hold up and give them a chance to play all 5. We haven't had the opportunity to play an entire 5-game weekend schedule because the first series, the last game got canceled, and then up in Atlanta, the last game got canceled. So we'll keep our fingers crossed for good weather and nobody ducks out of town early so that we get all 5 in. And then next Wednesday, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we take on Florida State, crosstown rival. We take on Florida State. That's next Wednesday at 3 o'clock. And then next weekend, they're right here in my backyard here in Orlando. So a great opportunity for the Rattler Nation in the state of Florida to get a chance to see this amazing team and see what Coach Bill is building or has built. So whether you're in South Florida, Central Florida, you got a chance to see the Rattlers, this next couple of weekends. So take advantage while you can. Yeah. Anything else there you want to add regarding softball? Okay.
Not at all. I mean, they did all the talking.
Big bats. Big bats. Yeah. All right. All right, let's get ready to take that first break, because coming up on the other side, we're going to talk to Jasmine Monk from College Bowling Network. And make sure you guys are on socials following at College Bowling. I know it's on Twitter. I haven't really checked the Instagram account. Is it, so we'll find out whether that's Instagram as well. But their site has done a great job of spotlighting HBCU bowling. And so after our bowlers showed up for the SWAC roundups, the West and the East roundups, we've advanced to the SWAC tournament for the first time since we've been in the conference, if I'm not mistaken, Kelvin.
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out if this is the first time. I know we had we might have had a decent run under two, I guess now it's two coaching administrations ago, but we'll kind of look at it and see what we've done. So hang in with us. We'll take a short break and come back and talk to Jasmine Monk on the other side. College Bowling Network at College Bowling is where you can find her, and the great work that they do covering HBCU bowling. This is the O&G StrikeZone right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back right after these messages.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
When it comes to professional learning, teachers deserve better. From the leader in online learning, Stride brings you the Stride Professional Development Center, an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that gives teachers choice and flexibility, allowing them to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. It's time you take charge of your learning. Visit us today to get started.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
All right, welcome back to the O&G StrikeZone right here on the Black College Sports Network. Bryan and Kelvin, it's a pleasure to have joining us for the first time on the O&G Ms. Jasmine Monk of the College Bowling Network. Jasmine, how you doing? Welcome to the O&G.
Thank you for having us. Welcome. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Hey, well,
thank you
for taking us up and taking the opportunity to come talk about college bowling, your platform, and just how you got going down this path. Let me first make sure I have the information correct in terms of where people can follow. Of course, I'm a big Twitter person, so I follow at College Bowling. But are there any other social media handles? Give out the website or the social media handles so we can start there and let people know where they can find College Bowling Network.
Yeah, I think the easiest way would be collegebowlingnetwork.com, and on there, because we're on all of the channels, but some are College Bowling. Some of them are the College Bowling Network, like on Instagram, it's the College Bowling Network. So I would say going on the website to make sure that you find the correct channel. So.
Gotcha. All right. So there you go. So Jasmine, kind of give us before we get into College Bowling Network, let's find out about you. Give us your background, your story, and why the College Bowling Network?
Yeah, sure. I like to talk, so I'll be brief. I'll sum it up. So, long story short, I've been bowling since the age of 5. Came from a bowling family, and a lot of people don't believe me, but believe it or not, basketball was my number 1 sport growing up, and bowling was number 2. I bowled to get scholarship money in what is called a SMART account that we have for youth bowling. And so what you do is you bowl these tournaments, you win, and then you win the scholarship money and it goes in this account for you so that you can have it when you're ready to go to college. So I did that my whole career, and I just love bowling. Well, in high school, when I was 15, I was bowling these tournaments, and I started getting recruited from college coaches. But here's the kicker. I didn't even know that college bowling existed, and I was a youth bowler. Like, I was bowling all the time. I didn't even know. And so when I realized that, I was like, wow, I may actually consider this, So I was talking to the coaches, seeing what it was all about. And sure enough, like, I was sold. I was like, yeah, I would absolutely love to do this, because I was really short for the position that I played in basketball. So I was like, I don't really know if I have a career past high school, even though I love the game. And so it ended up working out. And so I ended up bowling at Texas Southern in the SWAC, which is awesome. Loved Houston, loved the school. And yeah, that's just really from there really kind of propelled me into being like fully focused on bowling, constantly seeing how I can grow the sport, impact the sport in so many different ways. And I have fortunately been able to do that in so many different ways. And College Bowling Network, the recent birth of College Bowling Network has been a big part of that. Really just because even going back to when I was in school, which was about 10 or 15 years ago, there are a lot of the same issues when it comes to college bowling. A lot of people don't know it exists. They don't know that it's an NCAA sport for women, not for men, but for women. All of these things. We don't get a lot of media. We don't get a lot of visibility. We don't get a lot of exposure. And so when I was really thinking about kind of what my next move was, I'm like, I think this may be the direction I want to go, is to solely focus on college bowling because it's needed. I see, obviously social media has evolved, right? So teams are doing great with keeping up with their pages and streaming at the tournaments, but it's only for that team. So if you're not like a Rattlers fan, if you're just a Rattlers fan, you're just watching that. You don't really know what's going on through the entire tournament, what the seating is like, what's going on, like all of these things. And so that's really where I was like, I think we can be of help. And so it's really to kind of amplify what the teams and programs and schools are already doing. We are here to kind of do the storytelling, because there's a lot of great athletes and programs and a lot of rich history actually within college bowling that people don't even know about. And so, we're just looking to bring more visibility and exposure, looking really to connect with bigger networks to get that visibility and exposure. There's a lot of reasons why. People will argue all day, but I'm just a firm believer that it can happen. It just takes the right person to be the change to make it happen. And so that's pretty much, what I've done with College Bowling Network, is just really just planting the seed for the awareness, and I'm just kind of letting it go from there.
Nice. And just to give people a little bit of history, a little SWAC history. Of course, Jasmine mentioned she's a Texas Southern bowler alum. Texas Southern's won the SWAC tournament, the postseason champion, 5 times. 1998 was when the SWAC first began having postseason tournaments, and it wasn't until 2015 that they had a regular season title. So obviously Jackson State, they were the first back in 2015. They had a couple years there in the beginning, and then just this past year, they won the regular season title. But as we know, Jasmine, like so many other sports, just because you win the regular season does not guarantee you the postseason crown, which, correct me if I'm wrong, that's what gets you into the NCAA tournament, does it not?
That is correct. That is correct. Yeah.
All right. Were you a part now you were smartly not giving out any of your years. Were you a part of any of those championship runs? You saw that, Kay, right? She wasn't giving out years. So I'm not going to ask you what year, but I saw there were 5. There were a couple back-to-backs in there. Were you a part of any of those championship runs?
Unfortunately, I was not. We got close, but we fell short.
Okay, it's all good. Just thought I'd ask. I'd ask. Go ahead, Kelvin. Go ahead. You're on mute, Kay.
I asked the same question when our bowling coach was on. What's your bowling handicap? What you bowl now?
Ooh, I'm a scratch bowler, no handicap.
Okay.
So over 200, 215, 220.
Yeah.
Yes. And honestly, I haven't bowled in a while. I just haven't really had time. But when I do pick up a ball to go throw it, it's like I never left. It's like riding a bike.
I love it. Okay. So kind of handicap what you've seen this year from the SWAC in terms of the teams. Who are the better teams and the better bowlers and coaches?
Yeah, so I wrote down my notes so I don't miss anything. I have been watching. Obviously, I was able to go to Houston to the West Roundup, which was really great. I wasn't able to be on site at the East, but I was able to see what was going on. So Jackson State they're really killing it. I know Coach Boykins personally, and he has a powerhouse team. I actually spotlighted them like early on in the season. And when I was looking at kind of the background of all of the girls, I said, wow, I think he's got something. And they have. I mean, they're the regular season champions for the SWAC for 2026. Coach Boykins just got head coach or coach of the year, bowler coach of the year. 3 of the, just from the 2 roundups, 3 out of their 6 girls were on the all tournament team. Their bowler of the year is their anchor bowler, Paige. She is phenomenal. Like she's so smooth and she's a 2-handed bowler. So Jackson State's at the top. They went 24-4 from 28 games. So I was like, they're doing really good. Right under that, TSU, when they were in Houston at the West Roundup, I'm not going to say they struggled, but they were trying to figure it out. But it looks like when they went to the SWAC East in Huntsville, they figured it out because they climbed the charts all the way to 2nd. So they're right behind Jackson going into the SWAC championship. And then Alabama State is right behind them. So those 3 there, they've got some strong teams right now.
And so how many teams go to the SWAC championship? 6. And kind of break down what kind of matches, because I know there's banker matches and all that. So kind of get in the weeds just a little bit this time. How does the tournament play? How do you win that?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, my light fell. My room's a little dim. So pretty much the SWAC East Roundup and the SWAC West Roundup, we do what are called kind of traditional games. And that's where you have 5 bowlers. So it's 5 bowlers that bowl at all times, but they bowl a full game. So they bowl 28, what we call single games. When it gets to the championship, they do kind of this kind of mega play format. It's kind of like double elimination, if you will, best 2 out of 3 in what we call Team Baker. And so Team Baker is where you still have 5 bowlers, but you basically, each bowler bowls like 2 frames. So for example, you have your first bowler, they'll bowl frame, and there's 10 frames. So let me stop there. There are 10 frames in a game, okay? So you have the 5 bowlers. So the first bowler, they'll bowl frame 1 and frame 6. Your second bowler bowl, frame 2 and frame 7, and so on. And so it's, it's a complete team effort because you have those 2 frames. You want to make sure you can strike or get a spare and close your frames. And so that's kind of where the double elimination happens. And then the actual championship, whatever 2 teams make it, will be best of 7. It'll be the best of 7, still the bigger game. So that's kind of really how it works.
All right, one more question from a technical standpoint with bowling. You mentioned ankle bowler. Explain what an ankle bowler is, and then typically, how do you set up your bowlers based on average? Typically.
Very, very good question. Yeah. So when you're looking at what 5 bowlers, so, first of all, right, like you can have 6, 7, 8 members on the team. Every coach is different. But you have your 5 bowlers. And so your first bowler you want them to be strong, which means they set the tone, they set the energy for the team. So you want somebody that's going to come out and make it happen. Strike, like, come on, guys, let's go. Your second bowler is usually someone that you just want them to be able to stay consistent and close. They may or may not always strike, but they bring energy too. You want them to keep that energy going, but we just want to make sure they can close their frames. Okay. And then your third bowler, you want to make sure that they're also consistent, maybe a little bit stronger, I would say, than the second bowler. But now you're kind of getting to the end. So you want to make sure that they can set up that fourth bowler. You want to really get that momentum up because that fourth bowler is going to set up your fifth bowler. Your fifth bowler is your anchor. They're the ones that close out the game. They're the ones that bowl that 10th frame. And you have 3 chances if you were to strike every single ball in the 10th frame. And so that's what I would say to that. That's how I would do it. That's what I see most coaches.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Jasmine, now Florida A&M will go into the tournament as the 6th seed, or after finishing 6th. I don't know if calling it the 6th seed is correct, but they finished 6th in the East and the West roundups, which puts us, and I appreciate Hollow for correcting me. It's the second time that FAMU has made it to the SWAC tournament, which I kind of figured. I was telling you, Kay, I thought one of those first years when we got into SWAC that we did make the tournament. We had some lean years the last couple of years, but we're back. Coach Jeremy Williams has done a great job. He's got 9 freshmen out of 10. Talk about what you have seen from Coach Williams, maybe your familiarity with him, and just this team in general.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a great conversation when we were in Houston at the SWAC West roundup. First time meeting him, didn't really know him. But, when we started talking, I'm like, I feel like I've known you and I've met you before. We were talking about his team, having the 9 freshmen. I said, wow. I said, and I was asking him, I interviewed him and everything, and I was just kind of asking him. And I think the biggest thing, from what we talked about is just, they need the experience, right? So the only way to get the experience is for them to go to the tournaments and experience it. It's different than high school bowling. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, like I didn't bowl high school bowling. Not everybody that bowls at the Division I level bowled high school. I didn't, but I still bowled competitively. So depending on the makeup of all the girls on the team, that plays a big factor into it. But this is also still the next level. So I know, typically, like a lot of coaches, they won't bring the entire team. We have what is called a travel squad. So if you've got 9 girls on the team, you've got to try out the top 6 or 7, will make it and go. But he's been bringing all the girls this season. We talked about that because he wants them to experience SWAC. He wants them to experience, really what it's like and the atmosphere and the energy and all of that. And I appreciated him for that. So I told him, I was like, hey, you really have an opportunity to build, like,
yeah,
you really have an opportunity to bring them in, to bring all of them in at this level. Like oh my gosh, like, let them get the experience and then, get them ready mentally and physically, like for next year. Like I'm like, Coach, I was like, you've got something. He's got some really, really good girls. He did really, really good on recruiting.
Yeah. And I think when we had him on the show a couple of weeks ago, he was talking about, obviously in this day and age, the phone lines are already blowing up. So it's like, we didn't get into the weeds saying how many spots you have available, but he definitely said there are more eyes now on the program. And I mean, FAMU is FAMU. So, I mean, everyone wants to come to FAMU. I mean, So I mean, it's a beautiful place to be. So I mean, you know, I get it.
Yeah.
Our good friend Edwin Moore, he said being at the SWAC tournament is a fun experience. I know he said being there live is something you want to see. I have been, for the last couple of years, I've been advocating for more video coverage of the bowling tournament. What could that bring? What kind of growth could that bring to the sport if people are able to see it, but not just see it? Because I'll be honest, some of that stuff Kelvin was just talking about, some of the stuff that 90% of the people watching have no idea what is. So having somebody like yourself or somebody there who's knowledgeable that can explain what we're seeing, what the scoring system is, even the profiles of players, what could that bring to the sport if whether it be the SWAC or whomever else is able to grow that TV audience? What could that do for the sport?
Oh, it would change everything. It was, a big issue when I was in school, which, by the way, I was in school 2010 through 2014. I have no issues saying it. Okay. No issues. But, that wasn't that long ago. It's the same now. The regular season coverage is coverage. If you don't know someone that's going to the tournament, or if your athlete's not on the tournament, like if you're not following, you don't even know what's going on. You don't know who's winning. You don't even know if someone broke their leg. You know what I mean? Like you have no idea what's going on, but it would change the game completely. I think the commentary is a big piece of it, which I've talked to a lot of coaches about, because a lot of people don't understand what's going on. And, you have that view, right? You have where a lot of the teams will set up their iPads and stream, and all they see is bowling, but they have no idea what's going on. Are we winning? Are we closing frames? They don't really understand. They don't understand the makeup of the team. They don't understand, like we were talking about, traditional games versus Baker games, all of these things, right? They don't understand maybe what teams did last year, because it's just not really a lot of people talking about it. So I think just in general, it would help. And there's been a lot of conversation around it. There are some streaming platforms within bowling, like within the bowling community, but they do like this much when it comes to college. And that's where I was like, that's not enough for us. Like we want more. And so that's where I'm like trying to see, what the options are and bring those options to the coaches so that, they can get the coverage that they deserve.
True. Edwin asked a question here from the chat about the substitution rule. You've seen coaches sub players in during matches. What the substitution rule, you were kind of breaking down how the format goes, but what's he referring to there?
The substitution rule would be, so let's say, you're starting the day, you start out with like 5 players, and maybe one player that may not be playing their best, maybe they got hurt. And so that's, actually subbing somebody in. That is a great question, Edwin. I don't know the rules. I think they may have changed from when I was in school. So I don't even want to say, because I don't want to say the wrong thing, but they do have rules in place for that. Even in the middle of games, being able to, switch out players, we have what is called a practice pair. So let's say, an athlete needs to go warm up. They go over there, they sign their name in, they get so many balls to just kind of warm up, and then they go back over there and get ready for whenever it is that, the coach actually wants to put them in.
Gotcha. Now, let me ask this. collegebowlingnetwork.com, everybody. Make sure you go give a follow, and on social media, on Twitter at College Bowling. Your site covers Division I, all of HBCUs. What is the scope of your coverage?
Sure. We cover everyone. So I know men's is big. So men's, just so everyone knows, there's no NCAA men's. Women's bowling is totally Title IX. But you do have USBC collegiate, intercollegiate, athletics club team for the men. There are scholarships out there, not as many as women, but there are some out there. And then there are some guys that just like to bowl and they want the reps and they want to bowl at that next level, because it is a completely different level than high school. So you've got different levels. You have Division I, II, and III. Division I, obviously you have the NCAA championship for the women. Division II just approved having a championship for Division II bowling. I'm so happy. So that will start in 2028, and I can't wait for that. I think that's great. But you do have some Division II schools, and there are some Division II HBCU programs as well. So I'm just glad that they get the same opportunity. You have the MEAC, you have the SWAC, you have the CIAA. Division I, and then there, then from there it goes to the Division II programs.
Okay. I do recall, I don't know if it was last year or maybe a year before, North Carolina A&T, their bowling program made a heck of a run. I don't know how far, I wasn't following.
UMass used to be the program though. Maryland
did.
Eastern Shore. They won the championship. Right.
Okay.
They did. Yeah.
So I guess that brings me to my question of recent years. I don't know how far back that was, but what has been the history of HBCU programs on the big stage, along with other, what we call our program, Power 5 or whatever programs, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I have notes on that because I knew we would talk about it. North Carolina A&T, their coach, great leadership. Coach Kim, she bowled in college, she bowled on the tour. She coached Team USA. So they're under great leadership. It does not surprise me. They're always at the top. They're ranked number 12 right now, according to the National 10-Pin Coaches Association poll, which is kind of our Power 20, our top 25 right in the nation. So they're number 12 right now. And just so you know, there's only 2 HBCUs that are on that poll right now, really kind of all season. And North Carolina A&T is one of them. They're both in the MEAC, by the way. North Carolina A&T, and then UAB, University of Alabama at Birmingham. So UAB, they're ranked number 21 right now on that poll coming into February.
Gotcha. All right. So we got we got high aspirations. The last time that you saw a SWAC program ranked in the top 25 was when? It's been a while. It's been a while. North Carolina A&T, Coach Kim, she's been there for a while. They've definitely been up there. UAB has been up there, but I haven't really seen any other SWAC schools or MEAC schools on the top 25. So what is the thing that separates the best of the best? Is it, I'm just my novice mind here. Mm-hmm. Is it just the individuals and talent? Is it something else? What is it that separates the upper tier from, the programs that we're going to see, the top 6 programs that are going into the SWAC?
That's a really good question. I think there are a lot of factors that come into that. I think one is leadership. And how the experience that the leadership has to run those programs, as well as resources as well. Because, you think about it, right? Like with any other programs, if you're not winning, like, are you getting more money? What does your budget look like? Bowling, we have tight budgets. We're a non-revenue generating sport. So bowling at the HBCU level, everyone has a tight budget. Everyone's got tight budgets. So it's like, how are you kind of allocating your funds? What is your recruiting strategy? What resources are you bringing to the girls? What talent are you bringing in? That's another question. I've talked to a lot of coaches this season. They're all fishing out of the same pools. So, where are you getting your talent from? Is a really big question, because like Coach Williams, you could bring in all the freshmen, but what does that really look like for him this season? He's got to build. So I think those 2 things have a lot to do with it. With North Carolina A&T, you're talking about somebody that they coached Team USA, they were on the tour. And I'm not saying that needs to be the case to be in the top 6, but obviously it makes a difference, mm-hmm. If he has that experience and she's a, gold coach and that knowledge. I think that does make a difference, honestly.
Okay. Kelvin, any last questions that you have in there for Jasmine?
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I got 2. First of all, I was just, since we were talking about recruiting, bowling is an international game. They bowl everywhere. And I know, like you say, there's not high school program. A lot of high schools don't have bowling or high school association have bowling as a sport at a high school level. So how do coaches recruit?
It's a good question. You have to get creative. Like, I'll go to when I was being recruited, there was kind of an annual tournament I would bowl. There are certain tournaments that coaches have their eyes on that they'll recruit at those tournaments. It doesn't mean that those athletes bowled in high school. It means that they bowl and they're competitive. And so that's how I got recruited. I didn't bowl in high school. If that's the only thing coaches were looking at, I wouldn't have even been in the running because my school didn't have a high school bowl. I was in Texas, but my school, we didn't have high school bowling. So there are certain tournaments that coaches will go to. There's a big one called Junior Gold. You have to be eligible to go. It's usually the cream de la cream that go to that tournament. And it just kind of is, it's a national tournament. And you do, to your point, Kelvin, bowling is international. So to be honest, you were talking about Maryland Eastern Shore. They were so good when I was in school. They were the team to beat. They were the first HBCU and really only HBCU to win a national championship with them. And so they were the team to beat. And guess what? None of their team were Americans. They were all from overseas, Colombia, Venezuela, all these countries. And those kids come to Junior Gold and they compete in all these. There's like all of these, I don't want to say world's games. I don't know the correct terminology, but there are these like tournaments with all the countries and it's a lot of things. And so coaches they may spend their recruiting budget and go there, and those kids are trying to come over here as well. So I'm not going to say it's hard to find them because they come over here. For example, Maryland Eastern Shore, I know that Coach Sims, the current coach, I know him very well. And he literally brought in a girl mid-season and was trying to get her on the lanes like that weekend for a tournament. Right, trying to get her eligible. So it's a thing. I don't think every team is doing that, but the option is there. And I say take it if you can, because overseas, like in these other countries, like bowling, they're really good. Like they're really, really good when they come over here. So,
all right. And my last question is centered around your platform. Are you a one-person show? There's a lot of stuff to cover. So. Yeah. Do you have a team, and how do you maneuver all this?
That's a great question. I am right now a one-woman show. I've been asked, well, Jasmine, how are you going to cover all of this? And I was like, I don't have the answer, but it's going to happen. I said, it's going to happen because I'm going to make sure that it happens. Next season, we're growing. So I am, talking with a few people because I can't be at every tournament. And there are so many tournaments that happen at the same time, the same weekend. I just, physically I can't do it. There's no way. So I do need more hands. I think the goal this season, right, if we kind of look at the timeline of College Bowling Network, was to really just plant a seed. I wanted people to know who we are, what we're about, what we're capable of doing. And now to build from that next season, we'll do a little bit more coverage. I want to cover some men. I want to cover some of these other tournaments that I wasn't able to get to this season, spotlight some of these other athletes. I even have high schoolers that follow us and reach out all the time. Like, can you spotlight me? They're wanting to get seen as well. So, I'm a one-woman show right now. I enjoy doing this. It's so much fun. And I'm just appreciative of just how really college bowling, how they've embraced me. I didn't really know what they were going to say or what they were going to expect. And I just want them to know I'm just literally amplifying what you're doing. And it's just been received well. So I'm thankful for, just the coaches that allow me to spotlight their teams and highlight them and interview them. I'm just grateful for that and that they see the value in the kind of secondary media that we bring to the table.
Oh, I lied, Bryan. I got one more. And
that's all right.
This is a technical question.
Sure.
So what's the average score for the better teams in the nation?
That's a good question. So first I'll start with just really quick. There are levels to, people are like, well, it's just bowling. I'm like, no, it's not just bowling. What makes bowling what makes the bowling difficult, or the levels, you know what I'm trying to say? I can't get my words out. What makes the level of difficulty within bowling are the lane conditions. So there's oil on the lanes. Yep. That is what, makes us have a great day or a really bad day. We have to figure it out. That's what makes our head hurt. We're trying to figure out what ball to use, where to place it on the lane, like where to stand. When it comes to the science of bowling, there's so much. So I just want to start with that, just so everybody.
How many different patterns since you went there? How many different patterns can a NCAA? It's less than 10, right? Though.
Yeah, about 8 to 10. Yeah.
Okay.
And they switch them up. Before tournaments, we would get the lane pattern and then we practice on it. And then when we get to a tournament, we always, tournaments are usually Friday through Sunday. We can practice on Thursday on the tournament. But even before that, we'll at our own, everybody at their own, university will put the pattern out. So,
okay.
But back to the question. So typically if you're looking at individual, like at least a 190. So if you look at regular bowling, so like recreational bowling, people that bowl league, you usually want to subtract 10 pins when it comes to like a sports pattern, which is what we bowl on in college. So it's a harder pattern. And so you usually subtract 10 pins. So anything over like a 190 is kind of where you want to be consistently. And I would say closing your frames. You close your frames, you can get a 190. You don't have to strike every single frame. When it comes to college bowling, it is not a strike-a-thon. If you do get a lot of strikes, or if your team is doing well, kudos to you. If you can bowl a 300 Baker game, which 300 guys is a perfect game, by the way, that's amazing. But college bowling is not a strike-a-thon. College bowling is about endurance, consistency, and closing your frames. If you have issues closing your frames, you will lose, because oftentimes seeding is based on total pins. So if you have that split and you have 2 pins over here and 1 over here, please don't try to pick it up and try to get the 2, because it matters. It will matter at some point. So I hope that kind of helps answer that.
No, that was beautiful, man. And I have to say, she reminds me for bowling. She's the Liv of bowling, right? She knows this stuff left and right, and she's so excited, and she's explaining technical stuff. So even the layman can understand it. So we would definitely be following you, and you can always come on our platform and promote women's bowling on what you're doing.
I appreciate that.
I'm
gonna have a lot to say next month when I go down when we do the championship. I will be pretty wide.
well, look, after FAMU brings the title back, I mean, this is going to be the greatest story that you'll be covering. So you definitely will have to come back on after you tell us how the Rattlers pulled this off. All right.
I love it.
Yeah, no doubt. So again, just to let people know, the SWAC Bowling Championship is in March 19th through the 22nd in Arlington, Texas. The Rattlers, let me see. The Rattlers right now, they just came back from Baton Rouge. Not this weekend, but next weekend they'll be in Greensboro, North Carolina at the Stallings Invite. Then they have another tournament that they will be or a classic that they'll be participating in March. It's sort of a final tune-up for the SWAC Bowling Championship. Arlington, Texas, at the Bowling ITRC.
Yes.
And I believe it will be streaming on SWAC TV, probably. But that'll be but if you miss it, you know what to do, folks. Go to collegebowlingnetwork.com and make sure to follow College Bowling, and then make sure to look for College Bowling on Instagram. But there's the Twitter handle at College Bowling. Any other plugs? Oh, hold on. Jasmine, did you ever roll a perfect game?
Yeah, once or twice, I have a few. Yeah, I've done it. They weren't sanctioned though. But 800
so casual. So casual.
Yeah, man. You can tell them ringers.
Yeah, exactly. I thought she was gonna be modest and be like, "No, I haven't gotten there yet. I've been close." No, she was like, "Yeah, I've done it a couple times." Yeah,
I have a few.
it's like a pitcher throwing a perfect game. Yeah, I've done it a couple times.
Yeah.
Right, Jasmine, you talk your talk, girl. Okay. Any other shout outs you want to give, Jasmine? I'll let you get the last word.
Yeah. Just shout out to all of College Bowling. They work hard. I've been there. I get it. The athletes work hard, the coaches as well. And so, just keep going. I just want them to know that, I'm here for you. I'm here for you in any way that I can, and I hope that you guys see that. And I'm gonna keep pushing for us to get the media and the visibility that we deserve. So it's just somebody has to create some noise, and I'm the one to do it. So
there it is. My guy Edwin says that apparently it's streaming on ESPN, or ESPN carries the SWAC Bowling Championship. So all right, so there it is. But I don't know if they got all 3 days or part of it, but whatever. But we know who we're going to be following during the SWAC tournament. We're going to be following collegebowlingnetwork.com. And if we just happen to make our way to ESPN, so be it. So make sure you guys lock in, follow now, make sure you're subscribed, all the updates. So that way, anytime there's some information, Jasmine's going to update us. And Jasmine, we really appreciate you coming on.
Yes.
So
Thank you.
Wonderful to talk to you. It's a labor of love. It's a passion. We love talking to passionate people who are trying to grow these sports, especially these quote non-revenue sports that are fun to watch. And we all love our university. So we're behind all of the student athletes who are part of our programs and the coaches. We got some great coaches out there. So we appreciate the work you are doing. And hey, hit Jasmine up if you want to be a part of what she's building. I'm sure she's be interested to talk to you.
Absolutely.
So make sure you reach out.
Yes.
All right, Jasmine. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right. Good stuff. Jasmine Monk, College Bowling Network. Love it. All right. Make sure you guys are following there. There's the information. One last scroll on the website and on social media. Okay, let's get ready to take that next break because we've got Zachary Ansley, the FAMU Boosters president. We've also got Marcus Green. So we got a full house ready to join us for hour number 2, something like that, right on the other side of this break. You're watching the O&G StrikeZone right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically Black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
Oh, we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door, tell your mama hungry.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU Athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
All right, welcome back to the O&G StrikeZone. Bryan, Kelvin, joining us, Marcus Green, and joining us is none other than Mr. Zachary Ansley again, the FAMU Rattler Booster President. Mr. Ansley, how you doing tonight? Do we have you, Mr. Ansley? Do we got you? Test 1, 2. Marcus, are you there? Anybody hearing me?
Yep.
All right, Marcus is hearing me. Mr. Ansley, do we got you? Okay. We got you. How you doing this evening, sir?
I am here.
All right.
Doing fine. How about you, gentlemen? And ladies that are out there.
Right. Hey, we're doing well. We're doing good. Glad to get you back on the show. You know, we didn't get a chance to get full deep into the conversation with you a couple of weeks ago, but always a pleasure. Thank you for coming back on and joining us. Let's start with the Rattler boosters and some of the new additions, the new changes to the board, notably you being the new president. But just talk about the change at the top and the leadership and council there with the Rattler boosters.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you. Go. Yeah, we're good. We're good on this end. Are you hearing? I don't know if we've got a delay. How are you?
I think it seems like it's delay, a slight delay on his end.
The screen keeps flashing in. That's probably well. We had elections in November, and there were 2 members added to our executive board. Myself as president and William Millmans as vice president. And Central Communications.
He's spooling.
Director. We did maintain several. This Hattie Alexander remains our, and we are still able to count on Bill Woods to keep our treasury in line. And we started our tenure directly after that meeting in November.
Okay. So what are some of the current goals for the 2026 year for the boosters?
You know, I've asked the question of some. I asked the question of some. It's and trust me, it is not a position. It is not a title. This is a job, and we have several goals that are some of our board members, as well as some of our regular members that are just general people that have joined the Rattlers over the years. We just revised our bylaws last year, and one of the things that we're doing now is trying to get those in front of the Board of Trustees and get those approved. But our goals are far beyond that. That gives us the legal authority to do what we should be doing, university proper administration and the board of trustees. Now, that will happen, but in the meantime, not just funding athletics. And when I say that, we have 14 programs at Florida A&M University. And each one of them, we don't fund completely, but we assist in supplying them with things that they require and request. But that's not our primary goal. Our primary goal is to raise funds, because you can't fund those programs if you don't do some fundraising. And therein lies the job. So some of those goals that you mentioned, we would like to do everything to give every program whatever they desire. We had a board meeting just Tuesday night, and in that board meeting, just last night. I'm sorry, it was last night. It wasn't a board meeting, it was a budget meeting. And our finance guy saying, look, we need to have budgets now submitted in March so that we can submit our budgets and do our planning for those programs, those fundraisers. We need to have that in March, and then we can do our planning specifically to meet those programs in April, May, and get that in front of the board of trustees and get it approved. So I have requested from many of our sports programs to submit their requests by March 7th. And I've gotten about 5 of them in so far. And even if we don't get them all in, that's okay. We know that we will have some requests that will come in later as incoming revenue.
Go ahead, Kelvin.
So, how can a university help you? I know Marvin Green is working on the university behalf with athletics in the March 100. But what kind of assistance do you need from the university in order to grow the boosters?
Well, Marvin Green, of course, is the architect behind the Restore the Strike campaign. And during the campaign, the purpose of it, and I don't want to steal his thunder because I know he's coming after me, but the purpose of it, he met with about 15, 20 people that were in various organizations around FAMU as either leaders in organizations or just big FAMU supporters. So he did a monumental job of bringing us all together. And of course, the FAMU boosters was one of those contributing ambassadors to that fund. While the fund itself raised over $325 million, I think that was the last number I looked at, the FAMU boosters, with only 50 people participating, put in it's right at 10,000. Now, that was phase 1 of that program. How can he help us? And how can we help him? We've got to keep communicating with one another. Phase 1 of the program was $250,000. The raised amount in less than, I'd say about 45 days, was 325. If we are to fulfill the ultimate goal of $500,000, what I would like to do is see that some of those funds reach those non-revenue producing sports as well as football. Football is the juggernaut that has high attendance, high appeal, high income. But every one of those programs is important. You can't have a great basketball team or a softball team or a baseball team or a great bowling team if you don't provide them with some resources. So I'm hoping that we can have a conversation to work collaboratively to raise funds for all sports. And I did want to mention too, I'm scheduling a meeting with both our new athletic director. I was hoping to get a call from him yesterday, but I've reached out to his assistant, Mr. Mike Smith, and he's going to put me and the examiner. And the purpose of that meeting is to ask him for what assistance we need and to ask him to tell us some of the things he wants the boosters to do that is attainable. But yes, I think it's important that we speak directly, our organization, speak directly with the athletic department and the athletic director proper, as well as the president of the university.
Marcus?
Oh, good evening, Mr. Ansley. I wanted to ask, coming on board as the president of the Boosters, what programs or initiatives or things did you want to retain from the previous administration, and what new things are you looking to implement in order to continue the growth of the Boosters?
Well, I've received things that we want to maintain is, again, a focus on fundraising. We also, I would surely like to maintain the support that we have given to the nutrition program for athletics. Last fall, I think for 3 months in the fall, we spent, the booster organization alone did about $5,100 each month, September, October, November, for muscle milk. Now, muscle milk, I didn't have that when I was in college. But I have heard from the players that have had this muscle milk that the nutrients provided by it quickly help them to regain some of their stamina. And you see, I really thought that was only going, I only thought this for until 2024. But I thought that the muscle milk was just going to the football team. No, all the athletes take part in it. There are some other funding things. We do have some nutritional programs that give certain nutritional snacks to football, basketball, all of the sports programs. And I think that is one thing we want to maintain. But Marcus, you asked about what would I like to see us extend? I would like to see us extend that from snacks to maybe.
Go ahead. I'm
to
sorry.
move it just from just snacks, but maybe trying to get involved with some other organizations and get a better nutritional program for our athletes. I also would like to. There's some facility things, and right now I don't want to announce those that I'm thinking that we should look at. But we do have in our site, both in our rear site and looking ahead, in the booster budget, there was a line item in the booster budget for some stadium things, and the stadium was remodeled. The east and west end zones were remodeled a couple of years ago, and those were stages 1 and stage 2 of that process. We talked when Tiffany was here, Tiffany Dawn Sykes, about stage 3. and that involved the plumbing fixtures underneath the stadium, which need to be redone. It's a major cost to do that, but that's something that I've been thinking about in the back of my mind that we need to focus on. We should not have ladies in our stadium being uncomfortable because of some uncomfortable situations that they have happening to them, and guys in the restrooms because of plumbing. So that's a project that I'm thinking about. It isn't something that's right now, something that I can tell you we got a target date of doing it. So we have to do some more investigations on it as well.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Ansley, one of the things that I've heard talked about and I'm always curious about is membership in the boosters. And I want to say, I don't know where I heard this number, so if I'm wrong, please correct me. I heard that the membership for the booster organization is somewhere in the 300 range. What goals for driving and increasing the membership? What is maybe even a target number of growth would you like to see in this first year for yourself leading the organization? Where can membership increase? Is it with existing Rattlers, new Rattlers, younger Rattlers? What's your thoughts on membership and growth?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. And I've heard people say when they're interviewing so many times, boy, that's a good question. I am saying that that's a great question. For the last 4 weeks, what I've been doing is going through all of the membership rosters that we have. And they come from the membership committee. They come from our treasurer, because both of them receive membership information. But what I've done in the last 4 weeks, and I'm still in the process of doing it, I should have it finished in the next 2 days. I'm looking at and putting together a master membership list that has as much contact information as I can gather. So in order to gather the information from one list that isn't on, let's say, times a little difficult to increase membership, is because people will say, and it is true, well, I don't hear from certain organizations. Organizations is, one, we don't have correct contact information. So this 4-week project, phone, I'm sending them an email. But if I've got a telephone number, I'm trying to call every one of our booster members. Now, there are approximately, right now, I've gotten about 291 life members. We've got subscribing life members, numbering about 45. And we've got regular members. That's the last piece that I'm working on. Those regular members are the ones that are they come every year. They're annual. And I've gotten up to 145. So if you ask me what's the total number of memberships, I would say it's a little less than 400. And that's the goal. My goal is by the end of this fiscal year, which is June 30th, and it's aggressive to me, I would like to see us increase our membership to over 450 people to 500 in the next 4 months. And that means that we have to get personally involved, not just members on the board, but members out there in Rattler land. We need you all that can hear my voice to go on our website to contact me, and I'll give you my telephone number. I put it out there for everybody. I don't care if you call. But if you got a question about the Rattler Boosters, if you're a prospective member, if you're a former member, if you're a current member, I might not be able to give you everything that you want to know, but I'll darn sure take all the calls and I'll get my utmost of attention. And that's the way you drive membership. I made at least 70 calls so far and contacted people. And I've been pleasantly surprised that I've had folks to say things like, well, I've never had a president of any organization to call me. And I know I haven't either. But I've gotten a lot of information from those folk, and I found out that they're appreciative that we are reaching out. And I want to keep reaching out. I believe we can grow this thing. I saw that. Were you about to ask something, Bryan?
No, I was just taking my head in agreement. I was right there with you. Yeah. I love the idea. Love the plan. Love the strategy.
So I'll jump in.
People, and I'm serious.
Ms. Ansley, I just wanted to jump in real quick, and I see you had basketball, baseball, football. You had a megaphone, and I love your interaction with the students at basketball. They seem to enjoy it really well too, and their spirit is increasing due to your influence. Just talk about how much of a fan you are. And your interactions with supporting all the teams.
Well, what I do in the stands, and I'm pretty sure I got a video today. I don't even have X, but somebody sent me a video on X, and they had me dancing in the crowd, And I tell folks, do not videotape me. I am not there to entertain you. I am there, and I am there only as a Rattler booster. Now, not a member of the booster organization. I've been doing what I do since 1978 or 74. I've been in the stands kind of like the same way. And I've had some people to tell me, this just happened a week ago after I was up jamming with the students.
Yeah.
And they'll call me. I said, not Unc. I said, I'm Pops. So for old people. All right. So I started doing the little, the butt in my version of it. But I was like, don't videotape me. But they enjoyed it.
Yes,
and they got
I did too
team when we got serious again.
Yeah.
So when I got this complaint last week of some of my fellow friends saying, doesn't look presidential for the booster president to be up there with a megaphone clowning in the stands. And I responded with this. I said, the word booster has a root word, and the root word is boost. I said, when my car won't start in the morning because the battery is dead, I get some jumper cables out, and I hook them up. I said, and then I give my car a boost. I said, so I am a booster. Every now and then, when those dark clouds do gather on the horizon, I'm not trying to boost you in the crowd. Those boys and those girls, they need somebody to jumpstart them. And I ain't embarrassed. I ain't shamed. And I told the person that called me, everybody that voted for me, they knew what they were getting before they voted. Mm-hmm. I wanted a job. And that job isn't just jumping up and down in the stands. That job is raising funds. We've got to do something if you want something to change. So I know that That was a long thing, but yeah, I'm gonna keep doing what I do in the stands, and then when I get out of the stands, then I can act presidential.
Hubba hubba. I
Hubba
can
hubba,
tell you,
exactly.
I can tell you, we love it, we enjoy it, we see
Yes,
it,
sir.
and
Yes,
it
sir.
just make you more relatable, and make you want make me want to support you even more. I'm already a life member, but you know, I try to contribute and help where I can.
And we're
Go ahead,
asking for folks, if you can't pay $750 to be a life member, if you can't pay $750 to be a life member, pay $250 for 3 years. That's less than a hotel fee when you come to the football games. You can pay $250 for 3 years and become a life member. If you can't do that, pay $100. If you can afford $100 a year, we gladly be happy to have you, and that will help us fund whatever event you're coming to see. And I had one guy who told me, I asked him for some money, and he said, "Well, Mr. Ansley, let me just tell you about my problem." I said, "Wait a minute. When you finish that," I said, "My grandmama had a term for that. When folks ask you for money," she said, "yeah, they'll beat you to po mouth." Y'all ever heard that? And so he was beating me to po mouth. I said, "Look, man, if you can't give $100, if you can't give 15, I said, how about $1.50? If everybody gives something, we can overcome some of the challenges in every sports program that we have in this university. Just give something, but give it through the booster. Give it, but give something." But yes, I'm going to push for my organization. We need funds to help these girls and boys.
All right.
Go ahead, Marcus.
Mr. Ansley, I had a question. Actually, it was very timely for you to mention the boosting, the booster and the different tiers that you have. And I guess the question I ask, and it's kind of reflective not only of the current college environment where everything's going up, schools are jumping conferences. We have other things that weren't there before, such as NIL and all those type things. In terms of the pricing structure for the various booster memberships, is it right sized, I guess, for today's current economic environment in sports, or is it too much or too little in terms? And I don't know how long the prices have remained at this level. I don't know if the prices have remained static over the years or if they've been steadily increased, but just to understand in terms of what we're asking of our athletic programs as alums and what we're asking of the students, is this pricing sufficient to be able to meet the needs and demand of today's current collegiate athletic environment as a booster organization?
When you ask the question about the levels of our membership, and if I understand the question is, are we at the right levels, or should we increase, or should we go down? Our membership committee just met tonight, and that's a question that we're grappling with. If we were to go up in, let's say, our dues for each of the levels, life, venom, regular, that would help us bring in more money only if we got more members. So, and that's the question that we're wrestling with right now. Do we increase? Because if you increase let's say the $100 membership, raise it to $150. Well, if you don't get more members than you got last year, you might make more money if you get more members. The bottom line is you got to draw some people and draw funds out of their purses. So a question that you asked earlier, what do I want to see in our membership growth? I'd like to see by June 30th. If we can bring in another 100 folks, All right. That says that we are doing something right. We are making enough connections so the membership levels are going up. Well, once we see a steady increase in membership levels, then yeah, we can raise the prices. But now if we raise the prices and our membership levels aren't going up, it'll be interesting to see what happens then. So, and I don't want to tell you which side I'm leaning on, but you can probably you can probably gather from where I am. I want to see the membership level go up, and that means a personal commitment from each of us. Executive members on the board, I'm asking them, and I'm asking the board members, and I'm asking myself, how many members did you recruit this year? What did you do? And you see, I'm asking that question because what is it? I want everybody to look at the man in the mirror. We can't increase membership if we don't have people out there plowing this field. You can't grow the corn till you. So we need some farmers, and farmers have to put on their own jeans and go to work. So yeah, I'd like to see the numbers go up, and then I'd like to see us possibly look at increasing fees, but we got to get the numbers up. A steady drumbeat of going out and asking people and giving them a reason. Hey, I want some other folks calling members like I'm doing, you know, and seeing if they're okay. And that'll help us. Did I answer that question okay, Mr.
Yes.
Green?
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to remind everybody.
I hope my other folks out there think that is okay.
Rattler Nation, if you are not already a member of the booster organization, FAMU Rattler Boosters.com is the website where you can join today and be a part of the growth movement that Mr. Ansley and the other leadership folks and just the boosters in general, and, you know, be a part of the change. You guys have, Rattler Nation has done a great job in showing their support, but again, the best way and one of the most resounding ways in which we can make an impact is growing our official direct support organization to FAMU Athletics, and that is the Rattler Boosters. That is how we can, we love supporting all of our other initiatives, but I feel like this is the base that we all need to be a part of as we work with all of these other groups which do so many great things. But it starts right here by being a part of the FAMU Rattler Boosters. And let's grow that membership number. Let's blow it out the water so that as we go into the next fiscal year, we can set that goal. I'm gonna speak it into existence, Mr. Ansley. Over 1,000 by December 31st. I'm gonna speak it into existence. Over 1,000 by December 31st. That's what I'm talking about. It's doable. It's doable.
That's what
that's where we need to be. That's where we need to be.
I wouldn't care if it's just 1,000. And yeah, even if it's 1,000 people that pay $100, 1,000 people paying $100, I think that would be like $10,000. Am I right? If we got 1,000 new math people
at this late at night.
Yeah, I think. Well, that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
And you aim big. If you don't have a big enough dream, then you're gonna have a big enough goal. And you have to aim big, have a goal, and then have a plan to implement it. And like I said, I plan to get all of these Rattlers out here to be boosters.
Yes,
boost. Indeed. And I really appreciate you saying what you just said, Mr. Fullwood.
Well, I appreciate your enthusiasm. Appreciate everything that you're doing. And we'll continue to grow in whatever ways we can. Kelvin, Marcus, any other last questions you want to get in for Mr. Ansley?
No, I don't have any more at this time. I think he did a yeoman's job in answering what we already asked.
Well, I just express my gratitude?
For sure, yeah, you definitely, Mr. Ansley, you got the last word. Go ahead.
Well, I'd like to express my gratitude for inviting me on, Mr. Rozier. I call him frequently, and I appreciate you all inviting me on. I hope they'll let me come back sometime to tell you how much good we have done. Maybe in a month or so. And for all of those Rattler fans out there, now we got a girl and boys basketball game in the gym tomorrow. Come and bring your Rattler attire and let's show up and show out. Thank you again.
Well said. Show up, show out, pack the snake pit. Mr. Ansley's gonna be there in the student section, but we need a packed house of enthused and energetic Rattlers of all ages, young and old.
Yeah,
excited.
It's important. It's important. We're right in the middle. We're right in the middle, both men and women, and we positioning ourselves now for the SWAC tournament. So yes, we need to be in there.
Yeah. All right. Enjoy the games tomorrow. I got a good feeling about tomorrow, Mr. Ansley. We thank you again. And anytime you want to come on to talk, promote, whatever you want to do, you always got a home right here on the O&G StrikeZone.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right. Good stuff, Mr. Zachary Ansley, FAMU boosters. Again, put the website up there.
I'm going to have a little fun while you do that.
FAMU Rattler boosters.
Mr. Ansley got to get off that AOL dial-up.
Reed said a Commodore 64. Y'all leave it wrong, boy. Y'all wild. I said, Lord have mercy. But it got better though as the show. Once the connection realized we were friendly, it allowed for the connection to stay.
Yeah. He had some filters. He had some filters I ain't never seen before. You're right.
At first, boy, it didn't want to work with us. It was like, come on, the internet sometimes don't want to let you be great, and you had to, had to kick it into gear. Let's take a short break, come back, and we'll get into. We got a lot of catching up to do. Football, well, we'll see what's new with football. Obviously, always something new every week. A lot of basketball talk, as Kelvin just said. We got to catch up with what's going on in the SWAC, and then kind of set the table for what's ahead for the rest of this week. So, all right. You're watching the O&G StrikeZone right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
And we have to fund our kids in these colleges, and we have to make sure our kids have seats in these colleges.
And what about HBCUs? You mentioned.
Absolutely. You got to fund them all, and you've got to make sure they're properly funded. The real reason why I went after Comcast and Charter, it didn't have anything to do with my cable networks. It didn't. What happened was a gentleman wanted to do the Black College Sports Network in partnership with the HBCUs. And Comcast did not accept it. And that would have made a lot of money for these black colleges.
Absolutely.
And it would have educated the Black College Sports Network. This is what he wanted to do. That would have educated a lot of black kids. And when they didn't do that, that's when I came off the bench and said, okay, I'm going to light you up like a Christmas tree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That was the real reason why I got into it, was when I saw what happened with the Black College Sports Network, which I don't own. I just knew.
Why didn't you buy it?
I just knew. I just knew that these black.
I like that talk.
Right? I knew that these black colleges were going to benefit, and these black kids were going to get the education that they deserved and not have to pay.
There's a shot. It might be. It could be. Right field. Grand slam. What a shot. That's how you get hot, young fella.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU Athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do, and all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
Movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
When you're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU Athletics, there's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
All right, welcome back to the O&G StrikeZone. Bryan, Kelvin, Marcus, all in. See, y'all got jokes. Hey, I didn't start that, Edwin. Don't look at me over here. That was Kelvin Rozier. Don't come at me. That's Kelvin Rozier who started us down that path.
Mr. Ansley is my friend. I can joke with him like that.
Exactly. It's all love. It's all love. Because, like I said, we've all had our issues.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Absolutely.
So
we all have been sniped.
Exactly. Or worse. Or worse. So it's all good. This ain't easy, folks. Y'all go ahead and try this if you want. This ain't easy. All right, let's get into some basketball talk. As I'm going to show the latest standings in the Southwestern Athletic Conference through Monday's games, put our women and men dead in the middle of the pack. But with some interesting tie-breaking and, just some interesting positions. So for the ladies, and of course, maybe some of you heard or got a chance to catch Coach Ward and Coach Gordon with the 220 Quarterback Club this afternoon, shared some insights that maybe some of us weren't aware of or you might have missed. But for the ladies, let me get my page here. After sweeping the Texas schools, they went to Mississippi and had to take on Alcorn State, who, as you see right now, where Alcorn sits in terms of the division, had to take on Alcorn State. We ended up losing by a count of 62 to 50. And then the Jackson State game on HBCU Go on Valentine's Day was a real head scratcher because I felt like we controlled that game. Well, no, let me say, I can't say we controlled it, but I felt comfortable with our odds of winning that game until the fourth quarter happened. We end up losing 60 to 52. And as a result, go from being 6-5 to being go from being a game up above 500 to a game below 500. What's your takeaways on what you saw in the SIP, the Mississippi Nightmare, Kelvin?
You know, I can't believe, some people may not believe what I'm finna say, but I came away encouraged from this weekend. The goal is to try to get the split on the road and defend the home court. But the reason why I came encouraged, because we were in the game, both of those games, we were either tied or within 1 or 2 points. Both of those games going into the fourth quarter. And that was without our point guard, who is our finisher. Purifoy, who was out because of concussion protocol, both games, plus our best 3-point shooter, who's been out the last 4 games. And you got to think the way those games went, you had those 2 starters back into that fold, we would have finished those games. I like the effort. I thought the effort was good. The defense was pretty good. It was just both in the fourth quarter, the consistent scoring slowed down and stopped. And we didn't have that one, as Liv said, we didn't have that person who can go get you a bucket. And but I thought they played very competitive on the road, given those circumstances. Now, though, they just in a must-win situation where they gotta, based on our position, and we have to defend home court. And we got a tall order, and we playing the number 1 team. But we did play a lot of we beat Southern one time. We played Alcorn very well. So we're capable of putting together a good game and winning. So it needs to start tomorrow. But both games were similar to me. The Jackson State as well as the Alcorn game. We were in it. We played probably about as good as we could play going into the fourth quarter, and we just didn't have the finishers.
And before I go to you, Marcus, just to underscore your point, I'm looking at the box score in both of those games. The Alcorn State game, we get outscored 17-10, right? A 7-point difference. You lose by 12. Again, we had a single-digit quarter. The second quarter is what killed us. Got outscored 15-8 there in that second quarter, and then the fourth quarter outscored by 7. But then I go and look at the fourth quarter of the Jackson State game. We only scored 10 points in that quarter. Got outscored 18-10. You lose by 8, right? So, I mean, we're talking a tie game going into the third quarter, right? And we got outscored 15-10 in the third quarter, 18-10. So, you know, I'm it's interesting kind of watching us kind of without Purifoy, and Ellington has done a good job. Cornelia Ellington,
she's helped.
Shania McCarthy's done well, but man, Cornelia Ellington against Jackson State played all 40 minutes. That's brutal.
Yeah,
all 40 minutes. You know,
you're gonna run out of gas in the fourth quarter. Yeah,
hey, and 39 minutes against Alcorn. So literally, she was on the floor for all but 1 minute in those 2 games. I mean, that's a lot to ask.
Yeah,
that's a lot to ask.
And remember, she's not in top shape yet because she's been injured. So she just got back. What, 4 games ago?
I was going to say that. Marcus, your takeaways?
It was very similar to Kelvin's. I mean, they acquitted themselves well, considering Purifoy was out, and you have a true freshman running the point, and I guess a similar role. I mean, I guess as point guard, but it looks like in terms of having the ball in her hand, and even when Purifoy's in, you know, they're looking to pass, but also not like a pure point guard where they're looking to pass only, looking to score. And without their contributions, you know, we would not be doing as well or scoring as much, even though we have those droughts. And also, to Kelvin's point, you know, I did see a flash of Subaritz on the bench. She was in a boot. You know, I didn't get the story. I guess I got it in the second half, but I missed it when they were talking about Purifoy in the first half that she was out due to concussion protocol. And then also, one of the questions I posed to Liv last week, and she said she hadn't really scoured the roster or something along those lines. But, we have two other bigs that are on the roster, but, haven't been seen in a long time. And also today, I guess we may have noticed by our absence, but today in the 220 Club, Coach Gordon mentioned that Body was missing. She's been out since the Bethune-Cookman game, which is the first game of the conference schedule.
Yeah.
So that's another depth piece that has been out of the rotation. So there's a lot of things going on in terms of personnel, in terms of skill, in terms of size that haven't been able to contribute for one reason or other for this season. And so we have to take that into account as well. And the fact now that our point guard is out, senior leadership, and now you have a true freshman coming right out of high school, having to run the point and score. So I think we acquitted ourselves well, but we kind of saw the same thing that's come up last year rear its head in terms of a single point quarter of our scoring drought. I'm not sure how we get around that per se, but I was really hoping, for the Jackson game. I realized after the first time we played Alcorn, I didn't realize where they were in the standings, but after that game, I was like, oh, now I understand. But in the Jackson game, I was a little, I was in the same boat thinking that we had a true shot to pull it out. So I was a little disappointed on how that finished. But we just have to pull up the bootstraps because we got the two Alabama schools coming in, both ahead of us in the standings. And with 5 games left in the conference schedule, this,
crucial.
This could be the difference between the play, for lack of a better term, the play-in game or getting a single bye. We might be pushing it. We'd have to have a lot of good things happen, I guess, to get the double bye. But to at least put ourselves in position to have a bye and not have to play from the tournament's opening round, this weekend's results will have will be a key factor.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've noticed, Coach Gordon mentioned that Purifoy's injury resulted in the final play of the last game against it was the home game.
Right.
And I'm trying to pull up the schedule.
It was what
was it the Prairie or Texas Southern? I think it was Texas Southern.
It's Texas Southern, right? That was the last game, yeah.
Right. So that was, I guess, on the last play is where the injury occurred, which put her into concussion protocol.
Yeah, the girl, she took a real legitimate hit,
and that's a tough one. Yeah, that's a tough
one.
Because we had that game wrapped up. Probably, I don't, you'd have to go back and watch the video. But I will say this about we are such a we rely on 6 players for heavy minutes. Robinson, Ellington, McCarthy, Giles Jones, Jackson, and Purifoy. So when you don't have Purifoy, you're down to those main 5. And like you said, Marcus, yes, there's not much of a rotation. I mean, Brooklyn Swan has come in and started getting a few minutes.
There's Tyler Payne.
Tyler Payne, she got about 8 minutes. But really right now, the main sub off the bench has been Brooklyn Swan. And so we're down to a 6 or 7 woman rotation. And I don't know if that's lack of availability, lack of confidence in some of those other girls. It may be a little bit of both, but I do believe in those 5 or 6. That the crazy, call me cry, and I know I mentioned this last week with Liv. I like that 5 or 6. Those 5 or 6 are quality players, but you do ask a lot of them when you got to play maybe 8 or 9 more minutes than you would really like for them to play. So
I just go back to one comment that I made last week and all season. If we just play clean, I don't have a problem with the shots. I think they take shots they're capable of making. I know it's not going to be high percentage, but it needs to be high volume. I don't like the single digit quarters, but I understand that's kind of who we are. But the one thing I would like to see is the empty possessions, and this goes for the guys too, the empty possessions where we just turn the ball over for no reason. Just bad basketball. Eliminate those plays.
That's the reason.
I will also to add to the rotation shortage, at least on the women's side, we also think I haven't seen much of April Hooks, the transfer from Alabama State. And I know she's been on a knee brace. I know she had a knee injury last year, so I don't know if anything's going on there.
I haven't seen much of her since that Bethune game, very early in the season.
Yeah, she came into one game. She came into one of the games on the road. So recently she's I guess kind of getting in the rotation a little bit, but she's not getting much minutes right now.
And also Nia Rhodes, true freshman. I mean, she was lighting it up against Howard in the first game. Then she got injured. I think it was a wrist injury or a hand injury. So she's been out since the first game of the non-conference schedule. So you think about that, and between Nia Rhodes and I was at that game, and she had pretty good range between her and Subaritz and April Hooks, who was a 3-point threat coming out of Alabama State. At least that was, I guess, her claim to fame. Think about that. You can't really spread out the defense because all of your top shooters are injured.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be, I mean, the availability of players has got to be, I mean, Gordon won't admit it, but man, it's got to be frustrating. It's got to be frustrating. One last stat, as I'm looking at the box score, something that has failed us over these last couple of weeks, and when we are at our best, we shoot the free throws very well. Right. Against Alcorn, 13 of 21 at the free throw line. You lose by 12. Against Jackson State, 8 of 14. You lose by 8. I mean, we were at one point, midway point of the season, or I would say by the end of January, we were one of the best free throw shooting teams in the SWAC. We were shooting in the 80%.
Well, think about who not there and who shoot those free throws. Pure Force shoot a lot of those free throws, and then Super Rats is good. So it's a reason why.
Well, yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. Okay, so as you can see for the ladies, they are sitting at 6-7, 6-7, tied with UAPB and Jackson State. I don't believe we play UAPB again. So we're kind of in a head-to-head tiebreaker situation. We lose. Did we split with Jackson State, didn't we? Or we lost both with Jackson State? No, I thought we beat Jackson State the one time at home.
I don't know. I know the boys.
Yeah, we did.
I know the boys did.
I'm looking at it now. 68-63. So we beat them on January 22nd.
We split with them. But also what's interesting as you look at that, the standings on the left side there, Grambling, who still has they're a game short, so we don't know where they'll be. But really, I feel like that's the spot right now. So right now, and we'll talk about the brackets here in a second. Right now, there's a race for the top 2 seeds, which is right now controlled by 2 teams. Then you have the next 2 teams, Southern and Alabama State, that kind of have the 3rd and 4th spot wrapped up. And then 5, 6, 7, and 8 are all clumped up there together. Mm-hmm. But you got to be careful because just a game behind is Texas Southern and Bethune, who really, right. I think that's the line. I honestly believe Texas Southern, Bethune, Valley, and Prairie View will probably stay bottom 4. The question for FAMU, can we move from the 8th spot to as high as 5 over these last 5 games?
Can we? And will we? Is the question. Because we play Alabama, we play everybody above us.
Yeah. Our next games are the the Alabama State swing, or the swing from the Alabama schools coming to Tally, and then we swing to Louisiana for the Louisiana schools, and then close out the season with the home contest against Bethune-Cookman. So the key is going to be the swing through of teams from Alabama and Louisiana.
That's 4 games. 4 games. The next 4 of the next 5 are all playing teams who are above us in the standings.
Yep.
Doesn't get any more. This spells it out what you have to do, right? You got to win.
Yeah. You control you control your own destiny to a certain extent. So that's all you can ask for.
That's all you can ask for. Okay, jumping over to the men. The men, we Saturday, after putting 100 points on Prairie View on Monday, we go to Jackson, and once again, the Jekyll and Hyde
straight up egg. We laid a straight up egg on that one.
I mean that was. I mean, it's. I heard Coach Ward talk about you guys keep fooling me. It's like an every other game thing. It's like 1 minute you got a 5-game streak, the offense is clicking, then you drop 4 in a row. Then you come out after dropping 4 in a row, and then you put 100 on somebody. Then you head to Jackson, and you get beat by 20, where it just looked like I don't know who that team was. But then we turn around and go on the road to Mississippi, who just knocked off Bethune.
Alcorn, right?
Yeah, we go to Alcorn. Well, I was saying up the road to Mississippi. Yeah, we go to Alcorn State, beat them 86-78, a game that we controlled for
3 quarters, three and a half quarters.
3.5 quarters. We're up 10 at half. Controlled that game.
We up 20 in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, 5 guys scoring double figures. 2 more guys scoring 9 points. So the ball is finding its way into the hole. Hit 9 3-pointers overall in the game. Never surrendered the lead.
Ooh.
Led from.
We tried.
Yeah, well,
it wasn't because of lack of effort.
Y'all laughed at y'all mocked me, and you said I was crazy when I told you how hard it was holding on to a 20-point lead. Some teams it's just really, really hard holding on to a 20-point lead, and maybe we're one of those teams. And I know you'd like for us to be different, but we are what we are.
Yeah, you got it. We done did it 4 times, and we won 3 out of the 4. The only one we lost was Jackson State at home when we were up by double digits. But yeah, you're right. That's who we are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But to your point, and I guess you guys have mentioned it before, and I know Liv has, and I guess I'm probably showing my age or whatever. We don't have like a Vinny Microwave Johnson. We don't have like a bucket off the bench or just a bucket. Oh, and we have potential on the men's side, actually men and women, but it's not consistent. But like somebody, when you look at Jackson State, just bringing them up because they were recently played them, on Saturday, I mean, they put on a clinic in terms of scoring. And even when we lost by, we lost by 1 or 2 or something like that. And
1
in the game in Tallahassee, we had a big lead at halftime, and we just allowed. And the one, I can't remember the young man's name, but I think it was preseason player of the year. I mean, he was their only scoring threat in the first half, and he just like continued that in the second half, and we weren't consistent in the game in Tallahassee. So it's like some of the teams that we're facing, especially like a Jackson State and some others, they have a player that, hey, we know that he is or she is going to be a bucket and get some points or some free throws. And we don't have the consistency on that on either team to say, okay, they're not going to take a bad shot. They're going to put the defense in a compromising position and get something positive. It seems like we either, take an ill-advised shot, we either revert back to the old Atlanta Hawks ISO offense with Joe Johnson and whoever, or we do a turnover that is beyond explanation. Like throwing a pass that, cross-court pass when you see the person there, or throwing the ball behind someone. And those are the things you have to clean up, especially if you don't have a bucket off the bench that you can rely on that's going to either get you free throws or a bucket.
Yeah.
Now we didn't have our big. no
Yeah,
bigs
I was gonna
this
say
game.
no bigs. No, and
For
Dalma was
these
not
2 games.
available in
Right.
either of those 2 games.
Right. And
I'm surprised we didn't get out rebounded. That's the one stat that I'm very surprised about that we didn't get out rebounded in those 2 games.
I'll say it again. Our S factor, to Marcus' point, our S factor is Washington. When Caleb is the one player on our team who can get his own shot at any time. And he's starting to show a little more consistency with that. I think he's been the double digits the last 4 out of 5 games, I think. So he's the confidence is getting there, but to me, he's gonna be that X factor when it comes tournament time. When he plays, because he plays both, he also plays both ends of the court, and he's long, but he can play 1 through 5 on the defensive side.
Well, last year in the tournament, Washington showed up in game 1. We looked good.
Yeah.
Without the MVP.
Yeah.
Game 2 didn't show up. We lose to Jackson State. So
now I know I've been saying this, but for a minute, you saw Tucson was dressed out, but they didn't put him in.
So we heard.
Well, I try to. All I'm saying is tomorrow.
What are we saying?
Tomorrow, I think there'll be availability from 2 6'11" kids.
2 bigs tomorrow. Ooh.
That's what I'm thinking.
Man, say a prayer on that, folks, as you go to bed tonight. Say a prayer on that, boy, because that could be a game changer.
It really would be.
1 but 2, man.
Yeah, it really would be for this team.
Because when and I don't want to butcher his name, so I'm gonna say Miles
and Dalma.
Yeah, and when he goes out, I mean, you could see that the other team is looking their chops. I mean, he's the defensive stalwart.
They did just drive to the basket because again, we can't keep the opposing point guards from driving to the basket when he's not there.
Not very good.
Yeah.
The perimeter defense is not very good. Not what we are. And it's funny, Kelvin. Remember earlier in the year at the Bethune game, I poo-pooed our defense, our zone defense. It was like, now I've come around. I've listened to a few other people, and you and others, and they like, man, we need to play more zone. And I'm starting to think, yeah, you're right. We need to play more zone because whatever kind of perimeter defenders we used to be, we haven't shown to be that lately. Yeah, we probably do look better in a zone. And maybe that's what we need to stay in, more zone.
Yeah. To your point, our perimeter defense is not good. But I have to say now, Jackson State came back and they took Bethune down, then Alcorn took Bethune down. So they went 0-2 in Mississippi too.
Yeah, but look, they had you look at the standings, they're still leading by 2 games, and they lost 2 in a row. That means they had a 4-game lead going into Mississippi.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what kind of cushion they had. So, and they're without one of their top players, Dr. Bradley. He didn't play in either of those 2 games, if I'm not mistaken. I know he didn't play against Alcorn.
No, he didn't play either one of those games. Yeah.
So, looking at the standings, we're sitting in the middle of the pack, 7-6, which if the tournament started today, this show we don't have the tiebreaker against Texas Southern because we did lose to Texas Southern. So technically, even though the standings kind of show us as 6th, and that's only because of overall win record, we are actually probably 7th because we would lose a tiebreaker to Texas Southern. But the good thing about that, though, we are just sitting 1 game out of 2nd place. As crazy as that sounds, Alabama A&M, Southern, UAPB, Jackson State, all sitting at 8-5. We are sitting 1 game behind those 4 teams. That's amazing.
And we played the top 3 teams in our last 5 games.
Yep.
So we literally, if we could go on another 5-game winning streak, there's a good chance we would be a 2nd seed. If you could run the table.
Yep. All right, so there it is. Tomorrow night in the Al Lawson Center, Alabama A&M versus FAMU. Now, in case you missed this, if you got comfortable with the Thursday, Saturday, Monday format, well, for these final, let me see, 3 weeks of the season, 2 weeks, 5 games left, so that's probably 2.5 weeks.
Yep.
The schedule now moves to doubleheaders on Thursday, doubleheaders on Saturday, doubleheaders again on Thursday, doubleheaders on Saturday, and then one last doubleheader, I think in the middle of the week.
Thursday.
Thursday. Right. Yeah. So the regular season ends on a Thursday.
Yeah, March 5th.
Right, March 5th.
So
that is
do you have a reason for? I didn't catch, or at least I didn't hear it explained during the 220 Club. Why is it switched up for the last couple of weeks of the season?
Well, I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't know this to be, I don't know the reason why, but my thought on this, Marcus, is that with 12 teams going into the tournament, right, and they start the festivities on Sunday with a banquet and the first game on a Monday, they want to end the season where all the teams are done by that Thursday. So it gives you Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Whoever has to play on Monday at least has about 3 days rest, and you have opportunity to travel. That's just my.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I'm talking about starting that process a couple weeks earlier, like with this week and next week.
Well, I mean,
I get it for the weekend before the tournament starts.
Well, the one tweak I want our AD and to make with that kind of schedule is that our rivalry game needs to be in the middle of the schedule where it can be on a Saturday versus ending our rivalry game on a Thursday.
You just want to maximize the attendance.
Yeah, but I think we'd still get a good. You don't think we'll get a good attendance on a Thursday to end against Bethune?
It don't matter. It's not going to be. It's not maximizing our.
No, it's not maximizing. I agree.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It ain't no buts for me.
Well, okay.
I mean, because the previous 2 years, I go a step further. The previous 2 years, we started the season at home with Bethune before the students even back, so we didn't get a chance to maximize it then either.
Well, that part is the real travesty. I think that even trumps the bad Thursday card. Also, what I don't hear you talking about, Kelvin, and you look at this Thursday slate, right? Notice the start times: 6:30 Eastern for
that's late.
Women,
that's
and
late, man.
8:30 for the men. God forbid
Maybe
that women's game goes.
That's
overtime.
right, go overtime, which has happened in doubleheaders.
Overtime, it has happened. You're talking about look, we're not on the West Coast. I'm watching West Coast basketball, and that didn't tip off until 9:00. But that's 9:00 Eastern, really, which is like 8 Central, 7 Mountain. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah, I'm gonna have my 10-year-old with me for the women's game, but I'm gonna have to send her home. I'm gonna send her home
by the men's game. Be sleep by about the first 10 minutes of the men's game. She's done. She's done. Yeah. What'd you say, Marcus? Bring a pillow.
Shoot, I'd have to bring a pillow if I was down there. That's past my bedtime.
I don't know why that women's game doesn't start at 6:00 personally Eastern.
Coach mentioned something about that 220 Club. She's like, I tried to get it moved, but
So I don't know if this is the case, but I remember when I worked in athletics, the students have a time frame where they can go eat dinner and at a caf.
And that time closes at 6.
Yeah, and that time for them to be able to use their meal plan for the regular caf is somewhere around 6:30. So they gonna go eat first.
Man, can we give the students Can we give the students a hot dog, popcorn, and soda special with their meal card? For God's sake, can somebody come up with a great idea to say, hey, you know what? Let's move the game to 6. Students, if you don't want to go to the cafeteria, bring your meal card, get a hot dog, a bag of chips, and a soda. I don't know. Let me stop before I get in trouble. All right.
Yeah, you act like nobody ain't thought of that before.
You're right.
Yeah,
it's
a lot of common sense things that could happen and should happen.
I'm not
But
bringing up
it's not an athletics thing, though. Trust me.
I know. All right, so there's the Thursday slate. Shout out to Jordan Chapman making the cover photo there. You can see the 4 games that are part of the schedule. And then there's the overall schedule. Again, as I said, double headers going forward here. So, that's what it looks like.
I think our Saturday doubleheaders on HBCU Go.
It is.
Did I hear that correct today?
No, it's not. It's okay. So let me say this.
Yeah,
it's listed as SWAC TV. What you see, I checked the HBCU Go. HBCU Go is promoting a Virginia State Virginia Union game for Saturday.
Okay.
Now, unless they're double dipping, but I don't know that it's on.
I mean, they did it this last game. They did, this last game. The Division II game was on like the Griot here in Tallahassee, HBCU Go.
Okay.
And our game was on another affiliate cable station here in Tallahassee. So they had 2 games on HBCU Go last week.
We'll have to see, but I thought I heard that spoken.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Okay.
Coach did say that.
Yeah, she did say that. I heard her say that. You see the sketch. This is what the SWAC just put out. And you notice what you see for Saturday against Alabama State. It's FAMU Alabama State on SWAC TV. That's what So
okay, that's fine.
But anyway, so I have to get some Pepsi or something to kind of stay awake, so I don't fall asleep in halftime of that men's game. I'll be on the couch, so I'm definitely likely to fall asleep somewhere in the middle of that game. It's usually halftime that does me in. That extra 15 minutes of it's like, I get comfortable, I'll flip the channel, and all of a sudden, because I don't know, it just is. But all right, let's here's the tournament. Just in case you wondered, what does the new SWAC format look like? So now that this is the first year where all 12 SWAC teams get into the tournament, the new formatting for the women and the men is practically the same. The only difference is the times. What you see is March 9th is a Monday. So it used to be that the tournament would start on a Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
Now it actually starts with 4 games on March the 9th. They'll go and they do the same that they did last year. They'll go women's game, men's game, women's game, men's game. So the 10 versus 11 seed and the 12 versus the 9 seed. The winner of the 10-11 matchup will take on the 8 seed on Tuesday. The winner of the 9-12 will take on the 7 seed on Tuesday. Then the winner of those games take on the 1 and the 2 seed respectively on Wednesday. Now, this is what on Sunday's show, AD Drew and I were talking about. And AD brought up a great point. I'd love to hear your guys' thought on this. He thought that being a 3, 4, 5, and 6, which is in the middle of the screen where your first game is actually starting on Thursday, was the best advantage spot to be in because you're not playing anybody who's already played 1 or maybe 2 games. What are your thoughts on that? Or where do you guys see an advantage or disadvantage based on the new format?
I think, first of all, I like that the single bye and the double bye, because that makes the regular season more important, and you're getting rewarded for. I think AD getting a little too much in the weeds for swag basketball. Somebody gonna get upset just like somebody always gets upset in the NCAA tournament by a lower seed. So upsets happen in basketball. And then, as you just showed, the men's side of the pairings, everybody jumble up, so anybody can beat anybody anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not worried about somebody, 3 seed or 4 seed losing. That's likely to happen anyway. But I do like the fact that they're rewarding teams for doing well in the regular season. They're making the lower seeds have to walk the green mile, so to speak. Play 5 games in 6 days or something like that to win a championship.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be. I like it.
Yeah, I agree with Kelvin's point in terms of rewarding the regular season. But I also see Drew's point, and I don't know if they're necessarily diametrically opposed, but you look at the way the bracket's set up. If you're anywhere from a 3 to a 6 seed, you already know who you're playing. You're not playing until middle of the week, so you can get some practice. You can get extra film in. I mean, you already know the teams already because you've play them at least once, maybe twice during the course of the regular season. But you get well rested, and you already know who you're playing. Upsets regardless. So if you're a 3 through 6 seed, you kind of know what you're getting, who you're facing, and you have plenty of film and time to break down and see what you can do to try to either replicate what you did earlier in the season or make some changes so that you can come out victorious.
Let me ask
a question real quick, Brian. The 1 and 2 seed, they don't play to what, Thursday or Friday?
They play Wednesday, and then they get a day off, and then they play Friday, which is what the previous format used to be.
I don't know if I like that part of it.
I'm kind of curious that the number 1 and number 2 seed. I mean, I guess the numbers, and I'd have to, I guess we've looked at enough brackets in our time to understand, but it seemed like the 1 and 2 seeds would be the ones that wouldn't play till Wednesday, just waiting on like either the 6th seed or the 5th seed to play whoever wins those early round games. I mean, that almost seems like not necessarily a punishment, but it's not a reward for being a number 1 or number 2 seed when you're playing on, which March 11th is the Wednesday, and the 3, 4, 5, and 6 seeds are playing on March 12th, which is what, Thursday, their first game. So it seems like it would be reversed, like you have the 1 and 2 seeds playing Thursday, waiting for everybody. So that doesn't seem like a reward unless this is a misprint, but they put it out.
In essence, this is really okay. So if you just imagine 8 playing 1 and 7 playing 2, the format really did not change as it relates to being a 1. The 1 and 2 seeds have always played the first day of the tournament back when it was just 8 teams, and then they get an extra day off, and then they play Friday and Saturday. And if you're the 1 seed, you're getting the most possible rest. Because if you look at the men's for the 1 seed, well, you go from semifinal games at 2:00 to a championship at 7:30. If you're the women, you go from playing at 11 o'clock, and then you play at 1. So you're getting the max rest. The bigger disadvantage is being the 2 seed in the women, because you're playing at 5:30 semifinal and then have to turn around and play at 1 in the afternoon. So the max rest is sort of what has been put out there as saying that's the advantage of being the 1. But
I don't know about that, man.
Well, I guess the max rest, I guess, is on the back end.
Tournament's about getting hot, man, and being able to put together is a rhythm, man, getting hot at the right time. So I don't think rest is all that damn important. You ain't playing the first 2 days anyway. And they got all the games in on a Thursday, so that's like 7 days, a week off.
Yeah. That part. That's why I said in this new format, which we have seen, so the CIAA and the SIAC use this very same format. And what we always see in that tournament is somebody who has played either 1 or 2 games prior to the quarterfinals, knocking off somebody who's been sitting around not playing. Because what? The engine has been running. You got 1 or 2 games under your belt versus a team who's done nothing but either sit around or just practice. And most likely, like you said, Kelvin, they've been off since, at least 5 or 6 days. So there's sort of the challenge to that. Now, let me throw one other scenario, because this is being talked about a lot. And Kelvin, I want, from a logistics, operations, former, been in the athletic department, what does this look like? The SWAC is having their team banquet on Sunday. Okay, so the idea is that every program is supposed to be in Atlanta on Sunday.
Mandatory. Yep.
Mandatory. Now, not on our show, and even here, Gail asked it, EA asked it. Somebody said, well, find me because I may skip it, all right, and not show up until middle of the week. But I'm going to go one further here. For the teams that are 3 through 7 who don't play until Thursday, how realistic, Kelvin, is it to leave Atlanta on Monday, go back home, and then come back Wednesday night? For example, FAMU, which is 4 hours away from Atlanta, how logistically feasible is it to go up to Atlanta for the day, come back home, sleep in your own bed, practice in your own gym without having to worry about where you're going to practice, and then come back to Atlanta Wednesday to be able to play Thursday?
The SWAC has negotiated contracts, hotels, food. So it ain't gonna happen. And on top of that, you say I take the fine. It may be more than the fine. The chances are you ain't gonna be eligible to play if you do that.
Yeah, you might miss out on. They might drop a hammer and say you're not eligible to play your game.
Yeah. So it's not realistic. It's contractual, and the reason they're going from 8 to 12 because contractually the city offer more money to have all 12 teams there, and they have those hotel rooms and more people in this associated with this event to drive, be an economic engine driver. So no team is leaving Atlanta once they get there until they lose.
I will. You know what? I'm going to do some hunting around and asking. I'm going to ask the scenario with the communications people at the SWAC and just kind of see what type of response that gets. But you proposed something that I didn't even think about, Kelvin, is that the contractual obligations that come up with the hotels, your vendors.
Yep.
Look at it from a standpoint. I mean, that's a valid. The contractual thing is completely valid. So I agree with that. But also look at the teams who are potentially, the 3 through 6 seeds. Mm-hmm. And I don't recall who they are right off the top of the head. But I don't know if we look at the women, does it make logistics sense from a cost standpoint for Southern, Alabama State's close by, Grambling, no, Pine Bluff, if everything stayed the same, for them to go home and come back? I mean, because
the only people who could do it are the Alabama schools, us. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if Bethune could do it because they're further away. So
yeah, there's only 3 schools.
It's only 3 schools that would pull that off.
Yeah, even from a cost or logistics standpoint, in terms of proximity, and then I don't know if the school pays for it or if this it's part of the SWAC budget in terms of travel to and from. So is it worth doing all that?
So to answer EA question, he has the teams go home. I can tell you when we were in the MEAC and our teams played on the first day and they lost. Generally speaking, you go home the next day, right? You spend the night. You spend the night that day, and then you go home the following day.
1, 2, 3 spring break. Let's go.
But it was up to the school. Some schools it wouldn't. We didn't. But from a budgetary standpoint, if you got the money, some schools stayed the extra couple of days, even though they had lost, and watched the tournament.
Interesting. You know, we like to throw out all these scenarios, but I don't know what's realistic. I'm gonna have to do some inquiries with not only some SWAC administrators.
That's why a certain coach said last year, remember during the tournament, checkout time is.
He did say that, didn't he? He said checkout times. Let them know checkout times at 11. That's something that a nasty dog. That's all right. he did.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the tournament. Let me just say that.
To the tournament, man. I'm gonna tell you what. I really wish I could find a way to be off the whole week. I really, that's a week before our spring break. That's the bad part, is because our spring break is the following week. And I just really wish I could be in Atlanta for that entire week, because I think that whole thing is going to be epic. I just think there's going to be so many different kind of storylines and just crazy talk.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be absolutely fun. I totally hate the idea of all 12 teams going, but the fact that all 12 are going is going to be fascinating. And here I'm gonna throw one last thing. Hold on, that's where I was gonna go, because Valley is in the midst of an epic run that has only been equaled one other time by them just 2 seasons ago. And what I'm talking about is potentially going winless in conference play. It hadn't been done in a while. I think Grambling State was the last SWAC team to do it in 2012, 2013. But you remember the last time Valley was in this position 2 seasons ago, they went into a senior night game against Prairie View A&M and got a win. Their only win all year was to Prairie View A&M. And they went 1-30 overall, 1-17 in the SWAC. Well, guess who's one of their final 5 teams?
Prairie View.
That's right, Prairie View. I don't know if they can beat anybody else, but something just tells me the fact that Prairie View's on the schedule and they got an opportunity once again to play Prairie View late in the season. And I don't know. This is an epically bad year for Valley, but anyway, be ready to be in the snake pit on Saturday. All right, very quickly here, baseball upcoming this weekend. After the Rattlers went, we got 1 of 3 against Eastern Illinois, 7-6 walk-off on day 1 Saturday. Then we had we lost today. What was the final score against Eastern Illinois today?
No, not Eastern. North Florida.
No, North Florida.
15-4.
Yeah. You know those midterm games, especially when he got to play the teams he got to play this weekend. You know, coach ain't playing. He ain't gonna throw none of his pitchers out there, and he ain't gonna play. A lot of his starters.
Yeah,
that's just how he does it.
Well, down in Vero Beach, the Andre Dawson Classic at the Jackie Robinson Sports Complex. The Rattlers take on SWAC opponents in 3 games in 3 days. We start with a Friday night matchup against Alabama State at 7 p.m. Then the primetime matchup, which you see there on the right, against Bethune-Cookman at 8 p.m. That's a rematch of the SWAC championship game, of course. And you did notice Caleb Granger he is back, so would not be surprised to see Caleb Granger throwing that game. Don't know how many. He only pitched 3 innings in the opening series, or I guess in game 2 against Eastern Illinois. And then on Sunday, we take on Southern at noon. So Alabama State, Bethune-Cookman, Southern. And none of these games count towards the SWAC schedule standings, so don't freak out. Just an opportunity for us to match wits with some conference rivals and get a first look at what the other side looks like. What are your guys' thoughts on this showdown, the Andre Dawson Classic?
Well, I love it. I love the venue where it's at. I love the competitiveness of the field. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward. We get an early look at what our team is going to look like in the SWAC, because all the top teams in the SWAC are there, and we'll be playing each other.
And again, this is at the Jackie Robinson Training Complex down in Vero. Any thoughts on the baseball start there, Marcus?
Yeah, it'll be a good test to see, where we were. And I think last year we played, I can't remember, Southern.
We played at Southern and got blown out.
Yeah.
And then we won the other ones.
So it'll be a good chance to see, against conference competition, to see where we are.
Yeah. Good stuff. Well, not gonna make any predictions. Doesn't do me any good to make predictions, but hopefully we see some good games this upcoming weekend for the baseball team. All right. What kind of real quick? I know it's almost time to get out of here, so just any football announcements? Any football announcements? Anything quickly that you want to get to, Marcus or Kelvin?
We did get a commitment from a defensive lineman transfer from, DeAndre Smith, transfer from Highland Community College in Highland, Kansas. He's out of Jersey City, New Jersey. And he made honorable mention for the Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference this past year. It's 6'4", 290. So he committed on Saturday. And so we got at least one defensive lineman. We missed out on one. I saw the high school guy we were pursuing from Evans High School. He committed to UCF, so that's unfortunate. And also, I guess we finally got confirmation. At least Anthony Bell put out.
Right.
He's the offensive lineman from Miami Northwestern.
Mm-hmm.
So the majority of our offensive linemen we signed are true freshmen. We did get a transfer, and I think you guys went over it last week, Kendall McKenzie. And I do apologize for some of the slides not being all up to date. But we did get one transfer, but I think the other remaining are all high school, and at least 2 of them. Let me see, Malik Horn, Anthony Bell, and Jordan Davis. At least 3 of them, and I think the 3 of them were commits that we had from the previous staff, so it was good that we held on to them. And I think the one lineman that I can recall just off the top of my head, the Corbett Yarborough signing out of Fleming Island, I think he was secured under this new staff, but the other offensive linemen that were high schoolers were commitments on the previous staff.
Yeah, and there is some buzz on the coaching front. We lost one of our DB coaches to Coach Pope. I think he's headed to
Gardner Webb,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that left a position opening on the staff, and there's a lot of buzz about the person that is coming in his place, and you
don't want to give any hints.
I'm giving some hints, but I'm trying not to get in front of coach and let the I's be dotted, T's crossed. But yeah, he did. But he has. I will say he has Super Bowl rings as a player and as a coach in the NFL for both of them. And he's someone that's played in Bragg, but he's not a FAMU grad.
Whoa, look at this guy. Look at this guy. This is like a trivia contest, man. I'm too bad we don't have a giveaway. Those are some great clues, Kelvin. I'm waiting to see whether anybody in the chat is gonna throw the name out there. Because I know we got some pretty
there's some folks that
knowledgeable people out there in the chat who have a thought and an idea.
But what I'll say, and I'm gonna be, I'm just gonna say it, that the staff that coach is putting together is very credentialed, very experienced, been very successful, and they can recruit the state, and their names carry weight, not just for our players. People want to play with them, but they also those folks want to if they vouch for these coaches, if they vouch to the NFL coaches about these kids, we'll see some kids at a pro day and getting some real opportunities at the next level if they good enough and got the right attitude and background. And I will say the coach we're talking about probably is the best person that I've ever been around, both as a player and as a student. He played both ways, not only in high school but in college too, at the FBS level.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say where you went to college at.
No, I'm gonna make them work a little bit.
More,
but I see one of the persons who know who it is.
Yeah, so swear they just know. They're like, oh, we know who it is.
They know because they know they the high too.
Yeah. See, man. All right. Well, I'm not gonna play spoiler there, but sounds good.
No, one other thing before I dip out, because it's 11 o'clock, is that and Kelvin, you have to refresh my memory, but was it either Earl Holmes or at the tail end of Joe Taylor, where it seemed like we were assembling all this NFL experience? And I'm wondering if Coach Gray is kind of following that same pattern, because we had him, we had Corey Fuller, we had was it LeVon Kirkland? I think LeVon Kirkland was around that time. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, he was on staff. What I would say is there's a very good mix, and then the players, the coaches that are coming have chopped their teeth, so to speak, more in the coaching ranks, both at the college level, at different levels of college, as a matter of fact, as well as the pro level, and all of them got connections to the state. I love that, except one. I think all of them got connections to the state. So it's much more strategic, and there's much more actual experience, coaching experience.
Did you see the note about QB1 that somebody posted in the chat?
All I would say is this. The coaches already said that he's part of the program and will be. I remind people that one thing was he had an injury at the end of the season, and two, he was late getting in because of how the portal work and some other things. So there's no need to be worried.
Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy. All right. we've told you everything that's happening this week, this upcoming weekend. Just a reminder again, the SWAC Indoor Championships are Saturday and Sunday. You can watch them on SWAC TV. Go back and listen to our interviews from last week with Coach G and some of the athletes. And then the golf tournament, the ARCIS HBCU Invitational. Did I say that right? Is it ARCIS? ARCIS?
We're going to roll with it.
Okay, the ARCIS, the ARCIS HBCU Championship begins on Sunday, the 22nd, and continues on Monday. It's in Weston, Florida. So that's what FAMU Golf has. So, and also women's tennis on Sunday is at Southern Miss. So those were the only other sports that I had not already previous mentioned. So beginning tomorrow, wow, it is a busy weekend over the next 4 days for our FAMU athletes. Hopefully there'll be some championships tossed in. Make sure you're following all of our social media at O&G StrikeZone. Make sure you're following us on the socials. Make sure you're following us on Twitter, Instagram, at O&G StrikeZone. We'll make sure to definitely drop the updates as we see them. Of course, you should always be following at FAMU Athletics, but we'll repost and share anything that we see from there. All right. Again, want to thank you to Jasmine Monk, College Bowling Network, for joining us earlier in the first hour. Mr. Zachary Ansley, the FAMU Booster President, for joining us in hour 2. Marcus, any final words as we close the ship up?
No, I'm just looking forward to see how things turn out this week with men and women's basketball and some of the spring sports starting to get the ball rolling.
Give me a prediction, Marcus. Do we walk away with how many wins over Alabama schools, and how many SWAC titles do we walk away with the track?
Oh my gosh! Oh, that's right. In the
indoor championships this week. Saturday.
The Atlanta school, I think it's gonna be tough. I'll say split at best.
Men and women split.
Oh, I was thinking women. Women split. I think if the men come to play, they have a chance to sweep. So I'm gonna say 3-1, with the men doing a sweep and the women splitting. And for track, I'm gonna say the women come away with the title. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, it's past time. I'm propping. I got my chair propped up so I won't fall asleep. But I think the women come away with the title, and I think the men have a good showing. I don't know if the complete. I would say the men will be in the top 4.
All right, you got women. You said women win, men top 4.
Yes.
All right, Kelvin, be quick because Marcus has got to go. So what do you say?
Well, I like that meme.
Well, let me just say. Also, we got T.J. Higgins and Ashton Grable at the Legacy Bowl in New Orleans this weekend. Also, so that'll be something else for people to watch. I think the women will at least split. I think the men will sweep. So I like Marcus' prediction 3-1. And and with track, I think the women were gonna bring it home. I think the men are probably finishing second because I don't know if they have the depth between distance and field events enough to overcome teams like Texas Southern that have all those long distance runners that finish 1, 2, and 3 in all those events. So yeah.
I was gonna say men track top 3, women top 2 with we should be the favorite to win. And I'm bold, man. I got a feeling we of the 2 Alabama teams, I think we end the 12-game streak tomorrow night. I think the streak comes to an end. 12 games comes to an end.
It's possible.
Alabama comes to an end.
I just ain't predicting it yet.
I'm predicting it. I'm predicting it. But I'm going sweep for the women, probably a split for the men. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah. So either way, 3-1. Somehow, as long as we get the 3-1, I don't care who does it, but somebody, as long as we come out 3-1. So, all right, there you go, folks. That's it for tonight's show. Make sure you hit the thumbs up and the like button if you haven't already. Hey, go download the BCSN Pod Zone everywhere that you listen to podcasts. BCSN Pod Zone on the Black College Sports Network. You can contribute to the show right there in the Cash App, or you could leave a super chat if you're on the JBN online. Thank you again to everybody for watching in the chats, being a part of the show. Share it with the FAMU League. And for Kelvin and Marcus, I'm Bryan. Have a good night, Rattler Nation. Be well. Peace out.